Hey everybody, this is Drew.
And this is Blake.
And you're listening to the Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Controllers podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 101. I want to thank everybody and who celebrated with us on episode 100. Thank you, Clyde. We very much enjoyed having you on, and we'll have to do it again sometime for sure. And real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and go through our social media preamble, and then we'll get to it because we didn't 100% announce it like we should have, but let me get to this real quick and then we'll get to that announcement. You can find us on all the social media platforms, everything that's social media. Just, search the name of the podcast and you can keep track of our comings and goings. The most important thing is that you tune into our our Twitch streams with our cousin Brian and our editor of the podcast. Those are always fun when people join in and say hey to us. We're currently going through... Was it Wolong?
Wolong Fallen Dynasty.
Wolong Fallen Dynasty, and it's from the people from Tecmo Koei, the Dynasty Warriors folks.
It's a Souls-like. So if you like watching people kind of struggle through a Souls-like, come watch and hang out.
We've gotten increasingly better, I think. We still suck at it, but we've gotten better.
Yeah.
I can parry every fifth one. I think Brian's right there with me between 5 and 10 as well. I think you're a lot better than we are.
Depends if I'm paying attention enough.
And you can you can check us out at twitch.tv /2 smoking controllers. Lastly, please check out our store with all of our memorabilia. You can buy shirts, hoodies, a glorious pair of underwear. What else? I think it was a hoodie, not a hoodie, but a hat and a koozie.
Yeah,
and a couple
I need to get the new art on there.
Oh yeah, the 100 episode art. We also have our Patreon page, which you can just, we're really using that so we can help pay Mladen Markovic, aka Devious.Pixel, for his artwork, and so we can buy what are they called? Whales for Brian. They're these like knockoff goldfish things, and we just use this, the scraps that we earned to pay him in knockoff goldfish crackers, because that's why pay him real money? He's family. And the links to everything for this can be found in the show notes. If you don't feel like trying to remember anything, just hit the show notes, hit show more, and click all the links. With that being said, I want to thank everybody again for joining us after 100 episodes, and thank Clyde.
I'm sorry we're still doing this.
Yeah. No, we got too excited, getting caught up with Clyde to actually start what we wanted to do. Is part of our new format is we're not reinventing the wheel. We're just taking a step back and focusing more on a single game and giving it more love and more attention, and trying to maybe do a slightly deeper dive into the people behind the scenes. I've always done a deep dive into the company, but I want to highlight some of the key figures, like the director of the game and the writer.
If you can find anything on him. Like, as you see, if you listen to the podcast, even when he looks for certain companies, sometimes it's hard to find any info on companies that are smaller. And companies like that might even find it harder to find information on individual people. Yeah. But you probably will occasionally start hearing names of people who've jumped around through the industry and doing different things. It'd be kind of interesting to hear.
Because I do want to give credit where credit is due.
I like the creators, man.
Yeah. Right through this example I got for this game we'll do here in just a moment is I got the director, the lead writer, and the co-writer, who they've teamed up on several games prior, and then I've highlighted the composer a little bit. Now I just want to talk about that and like I said, just highlight the folks that are behind the people where I can find information. And also at the end, besides the big reveal of the game we're going to be doing next episode, so that people can write in or watch a playthrough, because that's what a lot of people do nowadays as opposed to playing video games. Or you can actually try playing the game, maybe you get lucky, catch it on sale, or get it through GameFly. Besides doing that little add-on at the end, we've also had a thing that has been kind of inspired and carried over from our brother podcast, Action, the movie podcast, where me and Steve would comically rate a movie at the end based on our experience. And our ratings, their opinion, they don't really mean anything. It's just something fun. And we've decided to kind of copy that, move it over here, and base it on the video games. And I think it'll be fun. Maybe it'll be some controversy and people write in and say, well, stupid, or people will write in and say, we agree, you guys are awesome, here's all of our money, whatever. I just, and there might be a couple other things, because as we go on, we're still slightly hammering out some of the details.
Yeah, we're not trying to reinvent how you make podcasts or anything. We're not big or popular enough to worry about that kind of things. But we are going to we might try, if we think of other things to do, like different segments. We're not really a segment podcast or anything like that. We want to be if we had more time and stuff to do. But we're going to, things inside the podcast might move around from one side to the other. That's why you've seen some of the changes before anyway of dropping. We did have other segments, the music and stuff like that, movies. We've dropped those things, and we've moved some other stuff from the beginning of the podcast to the end of the podcast. We're just trying to move things around and see if we like the way they feel. We've recorded other stuff before that we didn't release that sounded really, really weird. We moved like all of the. We're getting into the weeds here. But anyway, you might see things changing back and forth. If you have any opinions on how the flow affects you listening to this podcast, just holler at us and let us know. We'll see what we think. We're all open to suggestions like that. People usually sometimes the internet people are really vocal on things like that, and sometimes creators care and sometimes they don't, depending on how we like making the podcast. But we're open to listen to what anybody has to say.
Because I do remember at least once or twice we tried to do the preamble on the end, and it took away from what was happening at the end. It was like a song or something, and it just it's better in the front
for sure.
But
so anyway, just bear with us. If you listen to the podcast now, it ain't gonna. The idea is to make the podcast better,
and like I said, primarily focus on one game.
Yeah,
give it all.
And some episodes are gonna be better than others. I can already tell now, but I've been very loose on notes over the years. I've been trying to write more notes when I play games. And being straight up honest, I hate writing notes about video games when I'm playing video games. I've learned that over the past couple of months. We have a couple of games lined up that we've been doing, and I don't like doing it at all. I just really don't like writing down what I'm doing in a video game. It's helpful, I guess. It helps us because we've had lots of episodes. We play a game, and I'm like, I don't remember this part. I don't remember what I did here, and I don't know why we're doing this. I'm trying to alleviate that and have more notes help us remember. I'm not saying it's going to help that much, but I'm doing what I can when it comes to writing down what I'm doing in video games and making it better for the podcast. The game we're doing today is actually one of the first one I took notes on. So these notes are probably actually a little better than the games that I've did more recently because it's just how it is. And there's a lot, and some games do flat out have a lot more to talk about than other games.
Yes, they do.
But this game is full of action and stuff like that, doing a lot of things. There's some games we've played in the past couple of months. Some games are walk over here to talk to this person, walk over here to talk to that person. There's going to be a little bit less to talk about, but we still want to talk about some games that have, because maybe there's art or music or just a weird, quirky story of why we played that game that's going to be in there, and that's why we want to talk about that game. And we got to try to talk about almost every game we play because we play a lot of games, and it sometimes. That's what changed with making a podcast. Sometimes it feels like a waste to play a game and then not talk about it on the podcast. Boy, we talked about the past couple of months episodes, like Blake's been burning through some old notes, and some of those, and Blake, there's still 20 games that Blake has notes of that we never talked about on the podcast. And it's kind of tough to play game. Like it affects like playing a game sometimes. Like, do you want to play this game right now? If I play this game right now, we're going to talk about it on the podcast. I really want to talk about it on the podcast. Maybe I won't play this game right now. Like, it affects the games that I play.
Yeah.
People don't talk about, I don't know if any other gaming podcasts talk about that kind of stuff. It affects the kind of games you play sometimes.
And God forbid that, because, okay, everyone who plays video games knows exactly, they might not use the name I use for it, but they know the feeling. I call it the gaming funk.
I'm in one pretty deep right now.
It's what happens when you play a really good game. Sometimes you plan on playing a really good game, Like, you've been like, oh, I've been waiting to play this because I've heard nothing but good about it. You finally sit down to it, and it is good. And then the next anywhere from 3 to 5 games you turn on, and you're like, this is awful. I'm not feeling this. This is crap. And what's even better about that is like an anticipated game. Is we actually have one that we'll talk about in a couple episodes. It's a surprise. Like, we kind of knew that we would enjoy it, but then it showed up, and we're just like, fell in love with it all over again. We really liked the game developer, and we're just like, oh, this was awesome. And every game, like, to the point, like, I'll even turn on a game or the next game through GameFly or whatever, or even Game Pass. You turn it on, you're just like, ugh, like, you're just like hyper judgmental, and you're like, oh, this opening hour of this game is awful. I can't believe this. Ugh, this is a crap game, but it's probably not really a crap game. I'm just in a funk and being hyper judgy.
Yeah, that happens.
I'm not sure if you tweet us or whatever about what you guys call yours. I call mine a gaming funk.
Yeah, I'm deep into one right now. Like I said, I'm about 3 games in a row that I haven't enjoyed. A couple that I've put down and stuff like that, and just like I just can't find anything that brings me joy. I'm hoping something will come along soon.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, but enough about that.
Nothing about depression. Let's move to the happy stuff.
Well, it's a pretty sad game.
Well,
It's a fairly sad game.
I find joy in other people's sadness.
Anything else to talk about for that? We probably should have done this on the end. We didn't want to do this on the end of Clyde's episode. It'd be kind of weird.
It felt we'd take away from the experience of that and hanging out with Clyde. That was the more important thing.
Yeah, but that's the gist of it. We might have forgot some other stuff to say, but that's pretty much how we're moving forward with the podcast, and we hope it's better. Maybe it won't be. Maybe people will stop listening. Who knows?
No.
If you think it's better, tell a friend. If you think you like the games we're talking about, tell somebody. Yeah, that's how you get more listeners on the podcast more than any other thing in the world is word of mouth. People always tell you word of mouth. Tell a friend. Tell a family member.
Please.
Tell anybody.
Please,
Don't be gonna beg for it.
Pretty please. Please like, subscribe, and comment. I need it. Anyway, so we didn't announce it previously. We're starting fresh, kind of like the old stuff, but we'll be better. I promise. Ish.
Yeah.
So the game we're talking about today is called The Surge. Originally came out May 16th, 2017 for Windows, PS4, and Xbox. And October 2020, it came out on the Luna.
Is that what we're talking about?
No, it's when it came out on the Luna. Which is funny because it would come out October 2020 on the Luna, but that was also almost a year after the sequel had come out. So people just, yeah. What's the Luna? Is that the
Amazon Luna Cloud Gaming or something?
Yeah. Anyway,
if there's folks listening to the podcast, this is the first time they've heard that term.
I'm sure. I mean, when I looked, every time I look it up, I'm like, what's the Luna?
Exactly.
I forget what it is, and I have to Google it whilst I'm doing other research. All right, so the game was developed by Deck 13 Interactive. Formerly, they were Trigger Lab GmbH.
Jesus.
That was their name back in 2001 to 2002. They changed it very quickly.
Yeah, no one wants to say that crap.
No, but I didn't say where the name came from, but that's what their name was. And then they switched it to Deck 13 Interactive. And they're based out of Frankfurt, Germany. And they were founded in July of 2021. As far as I could tell, it is 75... No, 2001.
2000, you said 2021.
Oh.
I was like, how'd they put out a game in 2020?
Sorry, it's July 2001 is when they were founded. My bad. I was reading and I got number dyslexia. I'm sure there's an actual name for it. But anyway, like I said, they have roughly 75 employees. It kind of fluctuates, but the best number I could nail down was 75 for the most recently. I don't know what they started with, but most recently they're 75. Besides being called Trigger Lab GmbH, they were also formerly called Artex Software, but they split from them to create Trigger Lab, and then they switched their name to Deck 13. So they have a whole little ensemble. They've actually grown pretty well. Actually, they have 2 subsidiaries. One, like I said, they're based out of Frankfurt, Germany. They have one in Hamburg, Germany, and then they have one in Montreal. There's 2 little offices in those locations. So that's good that they're between all 3 facilities is 75 employees. So they're doing fairly well, I think.
Yeah, well, like their new game isn't doing so hot, so I don't know how long they'll have multiple offices, but we'll see.
We'll see. We shall see. On top of that, like they've made 21 games, including originally something called
21 games.
21 games they've made.
I've only heard of 4.
Well, you'd be surprised once I read off some of these, like, oh, they made that, because it happens like they made the game under under someone else's banner essentially, but they developed it. They have something called the Ankh, Ankh, like Ankh from the Egyptian thing. Ankh series. There's like 3 or 4 games of that. You have Surge 1 and Surge 2. The original Lords of the Fallen. They did not work on that reboot thing that came out.
Reboot that just come out recently, which is getting okay reviews, I think.
And then another thing called Jack Keen. It's like these like little adventure games, kind of like Indiana Jones almost and stuff like that. Or what's that? Siberia maybe. Anyway, like they have these little like action adventure puzzle games.
There's not much action in Siberia.
Oh, so I must be thinking of a different one, but regardless. And then 2 that we've played, Drew, they're responsible for Venetica. Remember that one?
Yeah,
Venetica?
Barely.
And Blood Knights.
I played Blood Knights all the way
That co-op one we did, yeah.
No, I wouldn't have connected that at all.
And this is kind of cool right here, too. They're published by Focus Home Interactive. They're probably someone... They do a lot of independent kind of like stuff. What one cool thing is in June 2020, Focus Interactive bought them. So they're their parent company or whatever now, but they bought them for, I guess. So you're like, I don't know how good this company's doing. They bought them for 7.1 million euros, not dollars, euros. Euros more.
Yeah,
but that's a nice hunk of change.
Yeah, for a company who's making games that nobody talks about. Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
Not bad. It gives a little breathing room to expand about what get more. I'm trying to say expand the portfolio to other ideas because they seem to only be making Souls-likes.
Yeah, and okay, with everything I just mentioned, all the games, Venetica, Blood Knight, they just have a brand spanking new one literally come out August 10th, 2023, and it is called Atlas Fallen, and I think it's also their first actual co-op game. It's also, I think it's a Souls-like. It looked like it was a Souls-like.
I think it's a little more
actiony. It's less
punishing. Less punishing. Is what I've read. We'll end up. It'll be on the podcast. Let's be honest.
We'll
at some point, me and Blake will play
in
it
like 2 or 3 years from now.
Yeah, 2 or 3. If it's more than 2 player, Brian will be involved.
Yeah, hopefully. I do hope that it's more than 2 player. But if not,
sorry, Brian, you're out.
Yeah, we don't like you anymore.
He's editing the podcast.
He's going to make me sound like a clown. Well, let's do this stuff. I'm a clown. Anyway, but I just wanted to say that they are still working on things. They did just pop this out.
Yeah, this is right after Surge, completing Surge 2. A few years after Surge 2.
Like I said, Surge 2 was 2019, so that's actually a big gap between 2019 and 2023, which also means they focus on it. They don't have like team split like the whole company.
Do you have anything on why Lords of the Fallen reboot went to a different developer?
No. I didn't, because they didn't really have anything to do with it, and I didn't really.
It's so weird they would you got handed off. They Focus. I wonder if Focus Home handed it off instead of doing a Lords of the Fallen 2. They take it and hand it off to another subsidiary. Yeah. Under the Focus Home umbrella, I imagine. Mm-hmm. We played we did play Lords of the Fallen. Came out and pretty much like when Souls likes were really starting to happen. It was kind of early on that train.
On that soul train, if you will.
Oh my God.
The soul train. Oh, is that? No, that's a Soul Man I'm singing, isn't it? Oh, but still.
Lords of the Fallen was more like Dark Souls, more fantasy based. Surge is more technology and stuff like that. We'll get into that. Lords of the Fallen is we talk about balance on here before, balance of a from game than anybody else making Souls likes. Souls likes are very popular. Souls likes are harder than Dark Souls games, because they're not designed correctly, or they change things in enough of ways that it's harder than it should be because they didn't balance the way From does. It's like how do you say it. I don't know how to say it. Like From Software has it nailed down. They know how to make this. Everybody else is just copying, and they have their own twist. But like we don't hardly beat any other Souls
It's
likes.
other people's idea of what a Souls like should be.
Yeah, and you're usually wrong
because they don't have Miyazaki-san. Hideki Miyazaki.
Hideki, I think.
Yeah. Because Hayao is
or Hideteki.
yeah.
I ain't got it in front of me. But anyway,
it's minus the vision.
Like Lords of the Fallen was cool in the first hour or two, but there's like weird things with the combat system, and then like a first boss that you don't just fight. Like you have to like stand in a weird place and do this. So we never got past the first boss.
No, we beat the first boss.
I did beat the first.
The first boss is the one in the church. There's the second one that warps around.
But that one anyway.
That second
as far as we got
one,
in that game, again, they don't do co-op. Like co-op, we probably would have got further through it and stuff like that. This Surge or in Surge 2, none have co-op. I don't know why.
Because as I've gotten older, my ability to video game has plummeted. Like I am not good at video games. My reflexes aren't as good and stuff like that.
There's a reason we've beaten every Souls game except for Sekiro.
Yeah, I guess I'm not trying to get good. I want to play games
We've had this conversation.
I want to have fun. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But anyway, we've only played because we had the other two games, but we've played Lords of the Fallen for a couple hours. Tried it probably twice. Like gave it a good try. Maybe loosely thought about going back to it after playing a bit of Surge here, but we'll lead on the front end of this, and so for the podcast in general, we didn't. I got some information about Surge. We've played Surge twice. Quit early in Surge before. Regained flight it years later. I'll tell you here in a minute. And then obviously got to a point in Surge again much later in the game where I was like, I just had enough of this. This is dumb. Like it's just like so crazy unfair. It's not cool. So we didn't beat Surge, and I'll probably never play Surge 2. So like to start a game to know I'm not going to finish it is exhausting.
Yeah.
But we say Atlas Fallen has co-op. It's possible. Before we get too rambly more into it, you can go. I just don't know if you had anything about the Lords of the Fallen.
Like they made the first one. I didn't do any research on the second one at all because I just know their name wasn't attached to it.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing that to hand it off to another that they wouldn't be doing the second one. It's so not even really a second one. Like restarted, and it got more noticed than the original Lords of the Fallen did. So I don't know. And I think it might have co-op as well. The re-release. Not a re-release.
I don't know what it is. It's called They don't call it Lords of the Fallen reboot or Lords of the Fallen. They just call it Lords of the Fallen. You're supposed to
don't ask questions. Just start playing it.
Basically.
Because there'll be any number of people who play that game that don't know, that haven't even heard of the first one.
I'm sure. I'm positive of that.
Anyway, so get back to the developer stuff so we get to this game.
Like I said, I got a little bit to go.
Yeah.
Their name, Deck 13 Interactive, actually comes from the director, Jan Klaus, was a huge fan of Unreal Tournament, the 1999 version of Unreal Tournament, and there's a map that he absolutely loved called DM Deck 16. And so he kind of drew their name, Deck 13, from that being his favorite map. And I thought that was kind of cool. And I mentioned that their first thing they made for a long time was called the Ankh series. Mm-hmm. And that started on something called the RISC OS, RISC operating system. And it's an operating system that originally came out in like 1987. And it's crazy, from so old you'd think would be obsolete, but it actually had a fairly recent patch that came out in 2020 and bumped it up to the version 5.28. So it's an operating system I've never even heard of, but it's still out there, and it's crazy that it got a patch recently. And now this Han, I guess Jan, but it's German, so I think it's like Han. Mm-hmm. Han Klaus, he's directed all their games.
Like I read all 21.
All of their games he's directed.
He's like the guy.
He's their director, which I think is pretty cool. We also have, like I said, I'm dipping into the director, and like he's just all the 21, everything I named earlier, he's helped them direct. We also have two writers I'm gonna briefly touch on, and most of the stuff, like I said, they're a team, and so a couple of things they worked on together. First and foremost, Surge, and it's weird, they didn't write Surge 2, but they wrote Surge 1. Someone else different wrote Surge 2.
Yeah. But nobody's really talking about the writing or the story in Surge.
Yeah, like these ones. But the lead writer, which is Simon McKenzie or Simon H. McKenzie, he also two cool things. He's actually been on the podcast twice. He wrote Vampire.
Who's it for Vampire? Oh, the story for
He
Vampire?
wrote the Vampire story, which wasn't awful.
Well, it's one of the better parts of a game I hated.
Yeah. Really rough combat. But then he also wrote what story there was for Back for Blood.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, that was our first.
He was the lead writer for Back for Blood.
Our first co-op.
That was our first co-op endeavor. Was Back for Blood, I believe.
Man, that would do we make fun of the writing on
We did
on
the
the
space
podcast?
worms from zombies. We made fun of it.
But like that,
And that one guy's like, "Yeah, my dad will finally love me."
I'll take this bat and hit a home run, and my dad will love me. We're like, and he kept saying it over and over again. We're like, dude, you gotta like get a life, man. There's like, you got much more worse problems now than hitting a home run to get the love of your father.
But the other crazy thing is he was lead writer for Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah, I haven't played Odyssey yet, but I heard good things.
This dude's all over the map.
Is he a freelance writer or something?
I guess so.
That's weird because he's kind of all over.
Well, it doesn't say he was lead.
Those are all different. Those are all different companies.
He doesn't say he was lead for Assassin's Creed, but it says he was lead for Back for Blood. So he was a writer for Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
There's a lot of writing in Odyssey.
Yeah,
though,
so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it could be like I don't know.
And then he has a buddy, a Kirk McClung is his last name, McClung. And now Kirk here also co-wrote Vampire with him, so they did that together. Kirk would go on to write Greedfall, which is that kind of a newer one.
Greedfall, I do want to play. It's we talked about spiders before. It's a spiders game. Mm-hmm. Have we talked about spiders on the podcast?
I don't think we've talked about. We've talked about them. I just don't know if we've played any of their games on here.
Yeah, Spiders is a cool developer. I probably haven't brought them up because they're like
they do a lot of stuff with Focus.
They're like the quintessential AA game. You know, everybody talks about AAA and like indie and AAA. There's that middle ground. These AA games, and Spiders rides that line so perfectly. They put out lots of really cool, like Bound by Flame was really cool.
Bound by Flame of Orcs and Men.
Yeah, lots of cool stuff.
Which Styx was a derivative. It spawned off of Orcs and Men.
Greedfall, what we got to do is like AA Dragon Age. So I've wanted to play. It was on Game Pass, but it was like when it was leaving Game Pass, it was too big to
it's far too big to
start. So it's buried in our GameFly somewhere. So we'll get a chance to talk about Spiders eventually. And surely they've got something new coming out because Greedfall's a couple of years old.
Yeah, one of his first things, actually the first thing he wrote was this little independent survival horror called Amy. I think on like the 360, Amy. I recognized the name in the picture from him. You look it up, I'm sure you'll recognize it. It's called Amy. It's about like a lady looking for her daughter or whatever. And then he recently, the newest thing that Kurt has written
I played that.
Is a thing called Curse of the Dead Gods. You recognize that artwork too.
Well, I'm saying I played Amy. I don't know if I beat Amy, but I played it.
Yeah. But Curse of the Dead Gods is the newest thing he's put out, and I think it's a roguelike. It's supposed to be kind of really difficult.
I recognize that name.
You'll recognize the art as soon as you see it. It's kind of the art looks kind of like
It's had a lot of crossovers with lots of other. It's like it's doing side scrolling
pretty well right now.
Lots of other. It had a Castlevania crossover or something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a kind of game I don't think we played Curse of the Dead Gods.
And this fella also, I got the two more things, is he wrote the story for this thing called Might and Magic Heroes. He did 6 by himself, and then he co-wrote 7 with Simon McKenzie, and then Kirk would go on to do the expansion pack Trial by Fire for Heroes 7, of Might and Magic Heroes 7. They've kind of been in and out of each other's writing careers, but they've done a lot of stuff together, which I thought was pretty cool. I got one more fella to tackle. I know. Credit is due. I think it's fair.
Yeah, So many people just don't really talk about those kind of people. I mean, I guess with a lot of the new, I don't know, get into the whole writer's strike stuff, but there's supposed to be a big video game thing about to happen too. I keep hearing about video games or writers in the video, not just writers, but the video game industry in period is about to do like a unionize out there, trying to unionize and maybe strike as well because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, because they're also because not to get into that thing, but I'm with the writers. I'm with people who write, and they're like, we could just get AI to do it. Maybe like I'm
not good.
Yeah,
I'm interested in AI writing, like filling in for random NPCs in open world. Cool,
yeah.
Cool. It's fine. but have an actual talented writer writing your main story. That's
Yeah.
why sometimes I don't know. Like I don't know when you play games like. Sometimes even I guess maybe it's not true because sometimes you're playing big games and you're like, oh, this side stuff is better than this lame ass main story, you know. But maybe you can get a better writer on your main to pump up your main story, make it a little better, and have AI write little random NPC dialogue that doesn't matter. I mean, I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen, but
Yeah, we'll see.
I'd rather just have writers writing.
Our last filler I'm going to be tackling is the composer. His name is Marcus Schmidt. He had a couple of things under his belt, but I kind of got a couple main ones. First and foremost, he was responsible. Again, I'll keep bringing it up because it's the stuff that they've done. But the Ankh and Jack Keen, he's done all the music for all those games that they've all made.
Mm-hmm.
Now he has some outliers. He did Risen 3, Titan Lords. He was the composer for that.
The only reason I haven't played.
What is that? Piranha Bytes, right?
Piranha Bytes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He also did the music for out of nowhere Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. He was the composer for that game from NetherRealms.
Random.
And just recently, 2020, he did the 2020 version of Call of Cthulhu. He was the composer for that.
Did we play that one?
We played Sunken City. We didn't play.
We played Sunken City, and we played Cornerium. We had on the podcast.
Cornerium. Yeah, how you gonna pronounce it?
We haven't played the Call of Cthulhu game yet.
Curious, but I think we tried the original one.
This is nothing like that, though.
Yeah, but still, I just because that name gets used a lot. But he did the music for that. I think that
it'll be pretty cool. That'll be all Call of Cthulhu will be.
Probably some monistic humming.
Let's see if I'm wrong when we eventually.
Oh no! But speaking of vampire, I absolutely love.
We talked about
that dude. What's his name? Oliver.
He's awesome.
Oh my god, I can't remember his name, but his first name's like Oliver. Yeah.
Yeah. So last name starts with a D.
Yeah.
Oh god, we had it written down for those podcasts. We talked about it multiple times. We've played a lot of his music on the podcast. He's done a couple. It was like he kept popping up. He come across like 3 or 4 or 5 different games. He was awesome because he did
Get Even,
and he did both of the Plague's Tale games. We hadn't did Plague's Tale 2 yet on the podcast. We will. I haven't played it yet. Don't worry about it. We'll bring his name up on another podcast. We probably played lots of games he's had a part of. But he's a phenomenal musician.
Sorry,
if you've played like recently, people had talked about Plague's Tale Requiem.
Yeah,
the whole sound.
He's
Plague's Tale. So the whole soundscape of Plague's Tale is Olivier.
Yeah. But anyway, I love
the music in Vampire was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Playing Vampire was an absolute nightmare.
Vampire Requiem, and there was you said another one.
Get Even.
Anyway, I didn't mean to go off on that tangent. It's like that dude, he makes really good like jarring music and stuff like that. Really... All right, I've spoken quite a bit. Do you want to we can dive into our first little bit of
Surge?
The Surge.
The Surge is a third person. I call it a third person exosuit Souls-like. What do you think about that? It's only two of its kind right now. This Surge 1 and Surge 2.
Exosuit
Souls-like. Yeah. We gameflied this originally all the way back in 2019, but it was a few years after it came out.
Yeah,
we had an eye on it, of course, because we were all in the Dark Souls and stuff like that. And that's shortly. We actually would have played Lords of the Fallen first, I'm guessing, back in the day. We returned the game because the GameFly tracks this for me. I returned the game about a week later because we could not beat the first boss. We were struggling so very hard, which is ironic when we get to it of the first boss being a problem, which is kind of where I ended up again on my second playthrough, which I told you about that later, but we'll get to that because the first boss is evolved again in a later fight,
which is so stupid,
so dumb. So I had a thing. God, it's been 5, 6, 7, 8 months back. I don't know what it was. I was at lunch at work and didn't know I'd watched. Shout out for Daniel and his YouTube channel, Zucovius, our cousin Daniel. Follow him. Is it youtube.com/Zucovius? Maybe I don't know how you find it.
You'll put a link in the notes.
I'll put it if I remember. So I'd watched all his stuff on YouTube already. I ran that out. I'd watched tons of Ben Carthage at One Credit Classic. I watched so much stuff, so much games. Like I'm running out of I want to watch something new. So I'm gonna go back and start watching playthroughs. I don't really watch just random generic playthroughs of games. I don't like it. I like the personalities of like Ben and Daniel and stuff like that. But so I'll go start watching some playthroughs of games that I've quit. I was like, it'll be cool to play, like, see all the way through a game that I gave up on, a game that I have no intention of playing ever again. Did it for a couple of things. I did it for, do we talk about Left Alive? That game that I bought that was like, has the artist, the guy who did the art for Metal Gear Solid, the giant, it's like a pseudo front mission kind of game.
It's like attached to front mission, but you spend half the game like out of your mech suit doing stealth missions inside buildings, murking.
I played that game one night and didn't like it at all. Watched some gameplay of that again. It was couldn't find out what I don't like about watching people play games. Is I don't like the way people play games sometimes.
They don't play it the way you would.
Yeah. Well, like the thing about how do you I don't know. But like when you watch Ben play a game, everything Ben plays he plays better than you can play.
Oh yeah.
And the things that I watch Daniel plays a lot of those things better than I can play them. Watching somebody play this other random person maybe. Now I expected what I wanted for that video was somebody to be playing better than me, and I watched that playthrough of I got bored watching a person run around looking lost and Left Alive, and I was like, this is dumb. I don't want to do this. So we get back around until a few weeks later, and I'll watch somebody play the Surge. Really tear Surge up. It'll be cool, and I can see the whole game because the game looks really cool, which we'll talk about in a second. And that person's running around lost in the Surge for like. And Blake watching that with me too. Watching that with me.
We stopped watching it.
We stopped watching it, and I was like, and then he struggled around the first area real hard, lots of time, and then really had a what do you call it? Like a not shining performance fighting the first boss. A first boss that me and Blake quit on years ago. Yeah. I was like, now I don't have a controller in my hand right now, but this guy is performing. I'm not going to find the page and bring the guy's name up. That's mean. This guy's performing really poorly. And I was like, I feel like it's very rare in a video game that I'm looking at somebody else play and be like, I could do better than that. Which is funny because his video is probably a full playthrough. He wouldn't have quit where I quit. It's funny. I can, yeah. I'm a bit of a hypocrite, I guess, which is fine. I don't mind. But like watching him play, I was like, this dude's lost for so long in the first area, like just like running in circles. It's like, dude, go over there. I can't tell you because it's a freaking YouTube video. It's like, go, turn left. It's right there. That, and then like watching him like kind of half-ass beat the first boss. Like it wasn't like a thing to like, that was cool. It was just like, why didn't I beat this boss? That's what I was thinking, Mm-hmm. So like we're like, I'm gonna gamefly this again. So all the way in 2023, I wrote it down like June 23rd, 2023, we gameflied Surge again. The intention of maybe at least beating the first boss, if not doing more. Yeah. And that's kind of where this is gonna pick up. We're gonna talk about our little adventure through playing this game again. It's an experience of up and downs. I have moments of really enjoying this game. Blake has moments of hating it a little less than he was a few minutes before. Does that sound fair?
Yeah. Yeah.
Blake did not. I don't think Blake really enjoyed any. I mean,
it's one of those things where I was not enjoying it in the slightest, honestly.
But I would complete something and you're like, ugh. I'd beat something and you're like, ugh.
It's like, yeah. I wanted, more than anything, content for the podcast. I didn't want to just quit at the same spot where I quit before. Especially like if Drew's like, you can do it, and I was like, I guess so. And I'd watch somebody do it before me. So I knew the strategy, and I was just like,
well, much to the strategy.
No.
Ironically, how he fought the boss in the video did not help us in any kind of way when we got to that boss.
No.
I had to figure out what was even happening in the boss. And the thing about some of these bosses, at least this boss, maybe a few other, or you can't just fight them. There's irritating mechanics involved with them, which we'll get into. Yeah. But anyway, that's what I was saying. So, but I will have moments.
See, not counting the boss that I quit on, this is the one that I did die the most on.
Me too.
I did some of them like first or even second try.
Third. We have them on here. We'll go through them. One boss I beat in one run. I just ran up to it, killed it, and moved on.
Yeah.
And this is like, okay,
I'm pretty good at this game.
We get ahead of ourselves. But anyway. So yeah, we're going to talk about the Surge for a little bit. And maybe you want to play it. Maybe you won't. I had enough of it that I'm not even going to attempt Surge 2. I have no reason to try Surge 2. Again, it'd be turning a game on that I know I'm going to quit. And that's exhausting. I I don't know how often I do that with games. Sometimes I think every return on a game, then I know I'm going to quit.
Not usually.
I was expecting at this right here again when we turned on Surge the first time or second time was we would probably thinking we're going to game flight again, get our asses kicked on the first boss a couple of times, and send it back. No harm, no foul. That's what game flight is for. But we will start with that opening cutscene. The first part, I guess you say when you're riding the train into the station, your camera's on the back of your character, and I'll say from here, aside from people, the game looks really good. Video game developers, unless you have Naughty Dog money, you have a really hard time making people.
Some people they look kind of gross.
Yeah, with your main character looks kind of gross.
Yeah,
it is a third person. I think it's pretty cool about this how this game starts. As you don't know it until you're told to move for the first time, but your guy is a paraplegic. You're in a wheelchair. Not terribly relevant to the game, honestly, but it is a cool little, like, oh, that's interesting. A cool little moment because he's going. Was the very little story you get in this game. You get a little more in the DLC, but he's going to go to the big company, which of all my notes that I wrote down, I did not write that.
Creo, C-R-E-O.
Creo is a big tech company who's like taking over the planet just about.
Well, I have a little bit of their mission statement is they're called Creo or Creo Worldwide. They have like their front man, like their Steve Jobs, who does the company. His name is Johann Gutenberg. And he has because post-apocalyptic, the world's like on the verge of destruction, and he's created a couple different like these operations to move off-world and help save the planet. But one of his main things you got to pick up throughout the game is there's a project called Project Resolve. It's a rocket dispersal thing where he's going to basically launch these. They're not nukes, but they're supposed to be the size of nukes. But he's going to shoot up in the sky and use like the world. I'm not very smart when it comes to science, but like the air currents around the world and the upper atmospheres and stuff. Mm-hmm. And he's going to essentially reseed the planet with these like ecological nukes and shoot a bunch of trees and seeds and supposed to like land and like reseed the world because it's like dying.
I never heard that.
Yes, that's
is that one of the one of the screens where the guys like talking? Yeah.
You can. I mean, I through that, and of course my Wikipedia research. And the other thing is
not relevant at all to what to play in the game.
Not necessarily, but that's all stuff you can find out. And like if you
like world building and stuff. Like
world building, because you have that Project Resolve, but then you find out the game has two endings. There's an ending for the nuke explosion, to reseed the planet, and your choices are have the payload be inert, which means it's not going to go off, or have the payload be active, which means it will go off. And so the canon ending is with it being active, because that's where the story of Surge 2 picks up.
Cool. Maybe I'll play.
But what happens too is you find out that besides Project Resolve, is he has another secret project called Project Utopia that it is going to use that exact same method. And besides reseeding the planet, it's supposed to disperse approximately 95% of the population left on Earth. It's supposed to inject them with nanites, which he will then be able to control. And he wants to rule the world.
I remember a scientist talking about it.
Yeah, that's the hidden objective of Project Resolve. The public face. Project Utopia is the same project, but in-house, and it's the dark, evil version.
Some cocky scientist later in the game
wants to like create, ultimate human beings and so on and so forth, and that's kind of how that goes. But that's all story that you have to like. It's not exactly
not relevant at all. Same like we could play. We could play the whole Dark Souls game and never have any idea what's going on.
Sometimes
this is kind of the same, not done the same way, but like
you get as much story out as you put in. Like if you're legitimately looking for story, and like you're reading the text logs and you're listening to all the audio logs, and you're like, oh, okay, this Sonia girl in the audio log is this person's boss. You have to put it to kind of together. I mean, it's the Souls like you have all the story is kind of on you to put together because it's a really cool way. But it's different from when someone copies how a story is supposed to be versus how an actual Souls like is made. Because the whole point I could pause on Surge for a second, but how the stories form in Souls-like is from Miyazaki-san, is he would go to libraries as a kid, and he speaks Japanese and English is a second language, and so he would pick random books off the shelf in English to try to help improve his English. And he would read a story, but he could only make out like this page, and then he could only make out like a paragraph on that page. And he would just in his head make up the story in between that paragraph and this paragraph that he could read. And that's how you get this story and that story, and it's just up to you to imagine what happened in between those 2 points. And that's kind of this, but they're slightly more heavy-handed, and you have to like really look. But
I wasn't looking that hard.
Yeah. And one other cool thing about the game is, besides it being a Souls-like, is it was also actually inspired by a 2D fighting game called Rise of the Robots in 1994. It's a back-and-forth little rock'em sock'em robot game.
Not one of their games, though?
It's a video. It's 1994. It's way before them.
Okay.
Well, I should have said that earlier, but I just thought that was cool.
But all that coming back around to your main character, whose name is?
Warren something. Just Warren's all I can remember.
He's going there because you can go there and you could sign on for work for the company, and you get exosuits. I guess depending on the job you do. I don't know what kind of job he's going for.
Technically, he's going to be a lumberjack. A lumberjack.
So you do a lot more research on the story. Most of all my notes are writing about the gameplay. All your notes are about the story. Yeah. That's good.
He's going to be a intergalactic lumber. Basically,
because we don't cut all the trees down on Earth. Let's go somewhere else to cut.
Because we don't have any more. Yeah. But basically, he signs up. It's like a 3-year contract, and he can't quit because.
Jumping ahead a second. So you do get to roll. You're rolling through this area. Everybody's like. Everything seems kind of normal. Like there's like soldiers around for like guards, stuff like that. And you roll up to. Now I don't know if it matters here, but you do get to choose your first exosuit.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't really seem like it matters.
It doesn't
There's
matter.
like two or three to choose from.
There are 3 rig styles. You have Goliath, Operator, and Sentinel. And your first starting set is between a Goliath and an Operator set, the Rhino or Lynx. Which is basically...
I went Lynx for a little lighter.
And I went Rhino.
Okay, good. We picked opposite ones. Which leads into a cutscene, which I wrote, and my notes just says, terrifying opening cutscene.
It's nightmare fuel. It's awful.
Yeah, he's like strapped to a chair, which I guess is normal.
It's an automated... What do you call it? It's an automated operation table.
Yeah.
Where they implant the rig to his body.
But the first thing it says is... sedative administered, and I guess there's a glitch. Something's already going wrong, and he's wide awake. It's like failure or he says sedative administered, and he's like, what? And it like starts like putting the exosuit on his legs and his back and his spine and his arms, and like drills it into him because he's supposed to not be able to feel it, but he's wide awake for the whole thing.
It's a nightmare. If you like, there are certain scenes that we talk about, like another like sci-fi horror thing would be like Dead Space. Like there's like game or like parts of that where you have to like drill into your face or in your eyeball, and you're like, oh, that's awful, or do like self dentistry on you. And like this, you have no control. The main character has no control. He's supposed to be given a sedative to knock him out, and he is wide awake and can't fight back. Two things, because like I said, you find out that he's a paraplegic, so he's paralyzed from the waist down. So
at least the leg stuff didn't hurt.
Maybe, I don't know, but it's just like, and then.
He's screaming during the cutscene, so he's feeling his arms and like when you see it drill into the back of his neck and all that stuff.
It's the back of his neck and his temple.
Oh yeah,
because they have to put the cyberlink.
Yeah, gosh, it's rough.
If you don't like Souls games, just Google the Surge opening cutscene. Drew, you might even be able to find and throw a link. If
I remember, I'll put a link opening cutscene.
It's awful. Yeah. Like it's like, oh my god,
it sucks.
That would be like that's probably one of the most horrible things. Just imagine, like, oh yeah, we're gonna do some surgery and knock you out with the local anesthetic, and you won't, you'll wake up and then they just go, hey, we gave it to you. You did what now? And you feel everything they do to you, which involves, well, I don't know, because I think that leg stuff, because they put the thing on him on his spine that lets him walk again. I think he feels because he gets to walk again because of the suit. So maybe he did.
I think it's the suit moving his legs. I'm guessing
through his brain controls. I don't know. They don't really go into detail about how that actually works, but yes. But real quick, Warren is voiced by a gentleman named Derek Hagan. Just 3 quick things that he's been a part of. He's actually in The Division 1 and 2, as well as the DLC. A character named Brandon Schaefer. Have
we talked about Division 2 on the podcast?
Not yet. I think it'll
soon. Come up as lots of talking in that game and no idea what anybody's talking about in Division.
It'll be a minute from now, but we'll talk about it eventually. We have a couple of things in front of it. But also, besides that, he is in Control, and the DLC for Control, the Alan Wake one, where she kind of like meets Alan or whatever. It combines the universes, sort of.
I think I dislike Control so much I didn't play the DLC.
He plays a character, Frederick Langston, and he has also a voice work in Cyberpunk 2077 as a character named Kirk Sawyer.
Can't play it.
He does. So those are like the three bigger things he's done. So he's an up and comer. So good luck, Derek Hagan, because the parts here where he does act are fine. Like that scream and that nightmare fuel opening is pretty.
Yeah, he ain't got a lot to work with.
I mean, because he's dead inside now. After that,
I move with the rest of the storyline and stuff like that. He's not pivotal to the storyline.
He's just a gruff worker. What's going on? How did I get here?
He doesn't talk like that.
I mean, he's kind of gruff. But yeah, that's kind of the... Oh, besides, there's a couple other things I didn't mention. Surge 2, he reprises the roller course. And then he has speaking roles, though not exactly like main roles, for Haze, Crisis 3, and Quantum. Anyway, let's get back to the...
Yeah. So all that cutscene stuff happens. And... wonder why you go, because I guess he's treated as trash after that. I guess he's kind of thrown away.
He's put onto a ship to go to his job. I guess you don't really see the in between. I think he passes out from the pain, and they go, "Oh, cool, the antiseptic work. Let's strap him onto a ship and shoot him to his job site, and he'll get filled in when he gets to his job site." Mm-hmm. And before you make it to your job, your plane is shot. Your craft is shot down because you wake up in the crash site. In the crash site, yeah. Yeah. And you're like, I can walk. Holy! Your dude's excited because he can walk again. He's not mad about the nightmare surgery.
He doesn't mention that ever again.
He had time to get over it. He can walk again.
So he wakes up in the first play area. We'll go ahead and say the first play area is called Abandoned Production. Mm-hmm. You run around here quite a bit. You leave and actually come back here again at some point too, because it connects to other areas, which is kind of neat. This is really mostly a junkyard and then like a production.
It's like a junkyard in a desert.
It's a deserty area, but you're not in a desert. But it's like a khaki colored area with sand colored, but it's dirt and sand. But the most important part is it's pretty much a junkyard, and there's a few production lines and stuff like that. That's kind of what you're looking at here. Yeah, give you an idea of what you're looking at.
And you find, well, I don't know if it's mentioned. No, it's almost mentioned right away. Because you make it to, you go through and you fight these little drones, these little like medbot drones, and
you pick up your first little piece of pipe off the ground as your first little melee weapon.
And this is where like the combat introduction stuff happens, and I think in the first area, as long as you go everywhere and kill all enemies, you have access to at least the first version of every single weapon type. And a version, well, no, you only get the access to the Goliath and the Operator set. You don't get the Sentinel set, your first Sentinel set, until the next area. Yeah. But you get access, at least like a shotgun blast, of every weapon type and most of the armor sets to figure out which one works best for you, which is good. That's a fantastic way to start a game. Because if you don't like your decision early on...
Because the pipe, and they all have weapon of we'll say the weapon types here in a minute, but the initial type is that pipe is one-handed.
Yeah, so one-handed pipe.
But all one-handed weapons have the same moveset. Yeah. All other types. So once you learn it, you're pretty much trying to figure out a moveset that you like, and you're going to stick with that. Me and Blake seem to have both landed on the exact same weapon for almost your entire playthrough, because there's one weapon that's stronger than all other weapons for some reason.
Yeah, has a really good scaling or something.
So yeah, I don't know. Scaling doesn't work. We'll talk about that too. So you run to the first area, you're fighting a little flying drone. They kind of just fly at you. That's why you're learning to block, dodge. Blocking seems mostly like a reflex thing to not get murdered. I didn't do much blocking until like we'll say.
Blocking works because you can use a block to break a parry. Like if someone hits you, you can double and you can let go of the block to like break their guard, and then you into a combo. So like. Yeah. I wasn't blocking much in the beginning. No, but I became more reliant on it later. Likewise, it was probably sometime Honestly, it would have been after like the second boss. Like when I was like, I really need to learn how to actually start playing the game. So I was just like put the beat down on people and then like just kind of like back up and walk left and right when you have to like really, because you get into some confined spaces and you're fighting multiple enemies and you got to try to like have them all bottleneck them down a hallway, or there are moments where you had to fight 2 or 3 people at a time, and I'm like, I had to get better at the game. I didn't get good, but because I didn't beat the game, of course, but I did get better. And there was like the blocking and stuff. It also starts to introduce, no, because you fight the drones and you make it to your first actual, like the hub.
Your first, well, the med bay.
Yeah.
But for like you will see when you first start, you'll play. You have your health bar, stamina bar, because God forbid every game in the world does have a stamina bar now.
Yeah.
So the only thing Souls games brought to gaming was everything has a stamina bar now, and then you have this has an additional bar, which I don't know if I like it or not. The energy bar. You hated the energy bar.
The energy bar / battery bar. I thought it was incredibly stupid.
Okay.
Because
what it does initially is it has multiple uses.
It's overcomplicated. For no reason.
There's too many things tied to it. To like make it. I mean, I guess you can. I'm sure there's like perfect character builds you can do. We'll talk about the other stuff you can change here in a second. But like, it has so many different things it does. The main thing it's really used for is performing executions, which are pivotal for the whole game. You hit enemies enough times, and you kind of stun them, I guess. And then if you have enough energy, you can hold down the X button. And if you're targeting, we have to talk about targeting, because you don't target much on the drone. The drones are just one little target.
Yeah.
But you hold X, and if you have enough energy, you can do an execution. And then they're tied to implants. We'll talk about implants use energy. And I feel like there's one other thing also that uses energy as well. Or there's whole builds where some things only work when your energy's full.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Energy. It's another layer of complicatedness that you don't really need when you're already about to have other things we're about to talk about, that you have to think about so many things when you're fighting an individual enemy. But we'll get into that here in a second. But like I said, that's what I mentioned, the 3 bars you get to. But when you walk into your first med bay, this is a bonfire.
Yeah, for sure.
Med bays are just all Souls likes have them now. Everything has them. Even Jedi Survivor, you said
had meditation circles.
Not Survivor, but whatever one you played.
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order has meditation circle. It's a bonfire. Med bays are just it's just a big mechanical bonfire. You get to it, it heals you, it resets all the enemies in the area. You can upgrade there, you can level up there and stuff. That's like that. That's where your storage area. You're getting, you said from killing the robots, the little drones, you'll see you're getting what they call scrap, which is your souls for this game. And you'll get to the med bay. It's sitting there the first time, and you could spend your scrap for multiple things. It's for building armors and weapons, but the main thing mostly is for leveling up your rig level. Your rig level is your overall character. You don't really level up any other stats, but your rig level is you get I think you get an HP boost every time you raise your rig level, and then it raises your overall power level. Your power level determines
how many implants you can equip.
Implants and your armor pieces.
Yeah.
Armor pieces use power. So you gotta have your power level to a certain level to equip certain armor. Each individual armor piece, both arms, both legs, your head, and your chest, torso, there you go, all have a power rating that they need, and you gotta have, it won't let you can't over encumber, you can't equip beyond that power level. So you gotta have tons of scrap to raise that power level, which I didn't really have too much trouble with.
That was my main, if I got a chance, I was always leveling it up. It was
when you definitely, you kind of.
It's like,
there are points earlier in the game where you can't. I just never had enough power. I would have slots, because we'll talk about implants. I had implant slots, because you have how many slots? You get more based on your rig.
Yeah, well, you have like some key levels. It's like level 1 through 8, and then there's like 8 through 12, and then 15.
Yeah, but they'll unlock up to multiple slots. We'll talk about implants in a second. One thing I did like about all this, and I don't remember if any Souls game, I don't think the Souls games have it, is you can bank your scrap. I really enjoy that feature. I know it kind of takes a little bit away from people like holding on to so many souls and getting nervous and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I like dropping by the place and just dumping all my souls into the bank and not having to.
Well, the cool thing about that is because you could go back to the med bay as long as you didn't actually rest in the thing. It didn't bring enemies back, so you could go kill everything, come back to the med
As
bay.
soon as you touch it to bank, it resets everything.
It did? Oh, yeah, you're right. Because okay, shoot, never mind, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I swear you could like have deposit as long as you didn't rest in on the operating table or whatever.
No, it as soon as you touch
that machine. Okay, because
there's a separate machine to the side that's the
upgrade.
fabricator, whatever it is.
So okay, that's the one you could touch. Okay,
you can touch that one. That's how you use. We'll talk about ahead of myself. But that's how you build your different armor pieces.
Do the blueprints and stuff.
So before you leave the med bay, you talked about a composer a minute ago. He's almost, I hate to say it, he's almost entirely irrelevant because the one song that'll be stuck in your head the entire game.
Yes.
That I thought you could turn the music, this song on and off in the options. I thought the option was I thought because it was an option, it would mean that there was like a soundtrack that would play inside the med bay. There's one song. I don't mind the song. It's a song called Prisoner by Stumfol. It's Stumfol. Brian, if you could find that song. You could play it through this whole section if you want to. You hear this song a billion times. I don't know. I never really got it. It's not even a style of music that I like, but it is, like you say, people people talk about the safe room music and Resident Evil and stuff like that. It's like a place you're safe.
Yeah, when you hear that song, you're like, oh, it's just a breath of fresh air. You're just like, oh, praise be to whatever robot deity you worship, whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it is a good feeling hearing that song.
Yeah. So then, obviously, you're moving out forward in this. I don't know. We're talking about just general stuff because we can't do a play-by-play of every area, but it's important to learn how the game presents itself and how you play. So after the drones, of course, there's still drones all throughout the game, but you're about to go outside and run into your first. I don't know if they had names. Other rig users, pretty much.
Well,
is there a general term for them?
Well, before you do that, you meet that one girl.
You want to talk about the story, you can.
Well, it's just,
Yeah, that's fine.
Because she explains to you, you're like, oh, she's like, oh, well, he's part of the zero. She's like, oh, your rig is malfunctioning. You need to upgrade it. Go pick up some scrap at the local area. Go pick this up.
Good battery or something.
Yeah, she's kind of like walking you through the thing, and you try to explain to her. You're like, my ship crash landed. What's going on? And she's like, I apologize. There's a huge executive meeting going on, and all the higher ups are in a boardroom right now, and I'm the only person that's available for correspondence with outside world. I'm very busy. I apologize. And she's like, we're having really hard time communicating because there is a massive surge through their system, which knocked out some of the communications relays and stuff like that. So they're having a hard time trying to keep stuff together. And you spend the entire game, as far as I could tell, hearing about the surge. This, the name of the game.
You hear more about the DLC too.
Yeah, and all this kind of stuff. And as you're walking around, once you meet your first other rig user, they're actually, as far as in all intents and purposes, they're dead. Mm-hmm. But the AI in the suit is keeping them still functioning. Mm-hmm. So that's
cool.
Terrifying. It's like a body horror all its own, kind of like that movie Upgrade, where they're just these robotic zombies. They're not in control. It's the program in them using them. It's a whole separate. If you didn't have control over your body, but it's still attacking other people.
Because they are kind of zombie-like. They do make noise. Yeah, if you think about it. Yeah. I think it'd be grosser if they weren't making any noise at all. If the body would, if you just got sloppy body noises as the machine moved around.
Yep. Edit that in sloppy body noises.
Yeah, but the guys do go. And they do and there's a couple that talk.
Some, but they've also kind of gone mad. And not until later where you actually start encountering some functional people.
Not many.
Like security guards and stuff like that. But these people are essentially...
hate security guards.
Yeah, these
are... But, so your first rig... I swear they had a name for it. But people in other rig suits, other rig enemies.
Well, they were called Lynx Operator, or...
Operators, maybe.
I think they were called because they were operating the Lynx rig or the Sentinel rig or the...
Something like that. This is where you first see the game will teach you how you're actually targeting individual body parts.
And you can target any of the 5. Yep. Left leg, left arm, right arm, torso, and head.
Mm-hmm. And you want to be doing this because you have a little icon. When you target a specific spot, you'll either see a blue circle or a orange.
It's like an orange
or yellow, kind of a shield little icon. Yeah. You do more damage when you're hitting circles. If you're trying to kill somebody, you want to target the circle. You can't do that the whole... I guess you could. You could target... You just go for circles the whole game, but you're going to run into somebody who's fully armored eventually.
You do.
But you want to hit the armored sections. We talked about the energy bar earlier, the battery bar, whatever you want to call it. Because when you're targeting a specific armored section and you execute them on that section, you do dismemberments, and it increases... I don't think it's 100%. It increases the chance. Increased chance of them dropping a piece of that armor that you need to go fabricate in the fabricator.
And it's a chance for whatever. If you lop off an arm, it'll be an arm piece, or at least an arm component.
When I first started playing, I was like, I need a left arm, I need a right arm. I was targeting only right arms, and it took me, I don't know how, like an hour. I was like, oh wait, it's just like
arm and leg,
a generic arm piece.
Yeah, as long as you're targeting the arm or targeting the leg,
you can use the same pieces. You do the same thing. So when you see a new enemy type, it's very common or obvious. The obvious thing to do is I want to collect all the pieces of this armor and see if I like this armor. For us, this is negated a bit later when you find what is necessarily the ultimate armor.
Essentially,
it has a like an extra effect we'll talk about here in a bit that makes it more important than any other armor. But yeah, you do spend time targeting the pieces and collecting. It takes scrap and the pieces that they drop to the idea and running around the open area is like, I want to get a full set of my armor to stay alive. It's later in my notes, but here a place to mention that it doesn't, maybe I'll put it doesn't seem to matter how much armor you have.
Yeah, we didn't figure that out till later.
Yeah. We did some Googling and stuff too. It doesn't really seem to matter. Your armor stat seems to have no bearing.
Like the scaling stat. Like it's there and it's supposed to be doing something, but we weren't the only ones. Other people online who were smarter or more dedicated to the game did their own experiments. Like they wore this armor and had like 200 armor, then wore this armor, had 130 in this armor, and they took the damage that it did to their health bar after one hit from an enemy with the weapon. They're like, no matter what I get hit with, I take the same percentage damage. Like the math isn't mathing like it's supposed to at all.
Because what you're gonna learn really quickly in the opening area, with any Souls game, is you're gonna die very rapidly.
Yes.
It takes one or two mistakes and you'll die. Everybody's gonna die in Surge or any kind of Souls like dying is a regular occurrence. But when you start piecing armor onto yourself and you're getting hit by the occasional dude, and you're like, I'm still getting slaughtered.
Yeah.
When I get hit and I don't understand what's the point, and it becomes more and more, because it's later in my notes when it really started bothering us, when we really started getting out of the opening area into more powerful suits of armor, and I was like, this is making no difference.
None whatsoever. None.
It doesn't make any. And when you go online, people are like, yeah, you pick your favorite armor and you just roll with it. But that's when you do pick the most important armor, which we'll get to, because its defense is lower than its overall defense is lower. But its side effect is more important than any other armor, and it doesn't matter because your armor doesn't matter anyway. So its side effect becomes more important. It's like the only one that has a genuine I keep on passive effect. Mm-hmm. It has that no other armor seems to have, and you're just like, okay, I'm wearing that armor then.
Or they did, but I didn't notice them because they were like maybe combat oriented, or
I don't know if any other one had anything as important.
Some of them were combat oriented, and some of them were, well, I think combat oriented, because some of them were like you gain battery slower, or you constantly hold on to a tiny bit of battery. That also may have been armor plus implants, but I think some of the armors had like you would get battery slower, but you would hold on to it longer, and vice versa.
You just mentioned it now. It's a good time, I guess. The implants, you will start getting a couple of smaller implants right now. Mm-hmm. You can probably in the first area equip 2 or 3 at the most. Implants vary. There's got to be people that I didn't care enough about the game. People have got to have built like crazy. That's like the meat and potatoes of making a character is the implants. I feel like it matters way more than what your armor does or anything like that. Because the easy ones, one like opening ones, like a percentage you get that much more, like 5 or 10% more HP or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Stamina regenerates faster. Battery, you get 10% more battery.
And then later, scrap enemies drop 10% more scrap, 15% more scrap,
which I pretty much wear the rest of the game.
As soon as you get that, equip it and don't take it off.
Drop more scrap. Lots of different things. I didn't make note of all the different types, but implants are really where you kind of really dig into customizing your playstyle, and you can customize it around your weapon you're using, the way you play, and stuff like that. You can do like if you like, we talk about blocking takes less stamina and stuff like that, which I didn't really use that one. I kept it. I always kept a copy, at least one copy, because you could scrap your implants for scrap, which is pretty cool because you start getting tons of drops of the same ones.
You can double up though with using the same one.
They do stack. You can stick multiple HP. There's
also version 1, version 2 is different versions.
Yeah, and you're given the that's how you heal too. I forgot. There's no flask in this game, but you get one of your first implants. You get
flask.
It's a flask. It's an injector. It calls like a med injector or something like that. There's that one. There's that one.
There's two of them.
Two types.
There's the straight up injector that heals you a chunk of health, and then there's the one that regen heals over time. And there's
a third one that heals. It uses energy to heal you.
Yes. I didn't use that one too often because I didn't
tried using it earlier in the game because like you said, you stack your injectors. If you only have one type of the basic injector, you have like 3 uses. If you have to stack multiple to get multiple uses, so I would have had the 3 uses of the basic one, and I would also have equipped the energy one as well to have multiple uses of the energy one just to have some more healing. But it's so hard when you're fighting something to remember to swap to the energy, make sure you have the energy to heal, and like it's just too much.
Yeah, my main focus of course was as much health as I could possibly have. Yeah. But I always had I think like 6. I had 2 of the base injector just to heal quick chunk of health, but I had a whole bunch of the regen ones because I could use regen ones while I was running around.
I tried different play styles. I dabbled in the regening one.
I only used the regen saved me a couple times during boss fights.
Yeah,
because like you activate it and you're healing it. Something that should have killed me didn't because I was healing and so on and so forth.
Cool.
But
quick pass over this one section, one little part. I wrote you have horizontal and vertical attacks. Does not seem to matter.
You do?
Yeah.
What?
You can swing horizontally and vertically in the game. Do you know that?
No. How do you do that? I just hit the attack button.
There's 2 attack buttons. One swings horizontally, and one swings vertically.
You're right.
Yeah.
I just swung the one way.
Yeah. Maybe it matters. Maybe we're
I don't know.
Maybe we're dumb, but like it just never. It didn't seem. Maybe you're supposed to swing vertically on arms and legs and horizontally on torso and head. I don't know, but like it never seemed to matter. Like
the
game don't even really tell you to do one or the other.
I don't even. My mind's blown right now. I don't remember. I just remember hitting the attack button and swinging my.
Yeah, you probably didn't hit the other attack button then because it swings the other way.
Well, you had slow and heavy. I thought that's all you had, like just like a Souls.
Horizontal and vertical.
That's news to me. I had no clue.
Yeah.
No clue. None whatsoever.
So, attacking, armor, implants. We can roll into now. As you're running through the first area, you're going to start getting, and also weapons. Works the same way as armor. If an enemy's holding a weapon you don't recognize, you keep hitting that arm, and they will drop that weapon. Mm-hmm. So one of the first things you will get is a single rig. It's a big, cool looking, huge arm thing. I don't know what single rigged means, but it's like a big arm, like laser thing on this guy's arm.
It was like a giant stun baton. What it was.
The huge piece is like a big laser sword on his arm.
I thought it was like a stun baton because it was surging with electricity.
You mean the huge arm piece?
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that a stun baton. It's like a freaking wing on his arm.
I mean, but
I wouldn't. That stun baton did not come across. Stun batons like what the security guys have, and they beat the piss out of you.
Yeah, with their Okay,
stun
before
staffs.
We talk to all that, like we said, we have weapons.
Yeah.
The weapon types are heavy duty, which are you.
I was gonna say them in order: one-handed, single rigged, twin rigged, heavy duty, and staff. That's pretty much almost the order you did. That they literally you will discover them throughout the game.
I guess so. I think I just wrote the order down and how I remembered them.
Well, your order's wrong.
I'll go commit harakiri in the bathroom. It's not worth living anymore.
So you start with a one-handed weapon. The first thing you're going to find is a single rigged. I don't remember what twin rigged is. The 2 things
like two smaller like.
You fight one of those guys in the opening area too. He will probably murder you the first time you run into him.
The first time you see one because they come screaming out of nowhere like they're in pain. Like, ah!
Yeah. You don't think you see a staff in the first area. Not until the second area. I wouldn't get.
Okay, yeah, you get one chance. You get one chance with a heavy duty, and you get one chance, I think, with no.
don't think there's a staff in the first area.
There isn't staff in the first area.
So we'll get to staff in a minute, but one-handed, typical one-handed weapon, pipe, swing, swing, swing. You get some other, like maybe there's like a baton or like there's a couple of different.
I guess it's like a chainsaw sword almost.
Chainsaw sword was kind of cool. So, but I wrote in my notes. I quickly leaned towards single rigged.
Mm-hmm.
Its moveset is like somehow fast for what it is, and it has it really like knocks things off their feet and really kind of just
it's got some power behind it. It feels like it's got power behind it.
It's like the most unique. Is it the most unique weapon type on this game? I think,
yes.
Given its moveset, I think it's the most unique type weapon. Everything else,
and also because it was so big, its blocking actually was fairly good because it's this massive.
Did it?
I think
technically
so.
make a difference?
I think so because it would take a brunt of a hit. Because when you look at like the staff and the one-handed, it's like, it's like, but with how big the single rig was, it would he would hold it up and it blocked a huge thing, and he braced his other arm behind it like a shield. Yeah, and people would like it. I think it worked better. Okay. Because even when you have the heavy duty, but it's so big, you kind of like it. I didn't like using heavy. I used all the weapon types for a little bit because there's an achievement for getting your proficiency with each one to like level 5 or something, which I'm not sure if that did anything.
That's another thing we Googled. Proficiency does not work at all,
as far as I could tell.
People talk about. People did a lot of math and a lot of stuff online. Proficiency don't even work. Yeah. So much it's not even in the second game.
Oh, really?
It just flat out doesn't even, it doesn't work. Whatever coding is in the game, it doesn't work. Yeah,
I think they were overly ambitious with like the energy bar, and then their defense thing didn't work, and scaling. They I don't know. Bless their hearts.
A few other things in the opening area. You'll run into your first loader.
Yes, there's like I think there's like 5 or 8 in the whole game. I think 5,
4 or 5.
Yeah,
it's a big old honking machine that like slams the ground and spins around and all kinds of stuff.
It's like a 4-legged robot brachiosaurus forklift.
Something like that.
It's basically because it has like it's on 4 legs, and then it would kind of like you've seen this style of thing a lot of sci-fi robot movies where it happens a lot. Anything big and heavy has like these little things that hit the ground and like will hold it in place, like these spikes or these clawed feet. And it would pick up and like blast out some like exhaust to like kind of knock you back or like hurt your armor. Did it have a flamethrower?
I don't.
That one didn't have a flamethrower, but it had like a little whirligig.
Yeah, the whirligig move that I didn't find out until like the 4th one. That if you stand right up on top of it, it misses you completely. Yeah, I completely just like got killed by that swinging move so many times. If you just like. It makes the noise where it kind of like about to do it. If you just get up right up on it, it swings wide and always misses you.
Because it has to be out so far from its body, it won't hit itself. Yeah. But just like a couple of things, some other games we've played,
and these things die once.
Yes, they are a single
kill thing. They don't come back. I forget I don't remember. I don't know
the relevance where each one drops a coin.
All the coins, yeah.
And you get those coins, and and so there's only 5. I have the achievement for killing all 5 of them and turning the coins in.
Got that achievement.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, because the reason they're difficult is they have the exact same moveset, and they tend to be fairly alone. Like there are enemies that might be near there that can follow you in there, or they might have like an enemy or two that you can kite out. But they tend to be they're tough enough on their own. But they have the first one is so difficult. The area is so small and hard to fight in. But
right below my note is also DLC enemies. Is it free? The Fire and Ice DLC.
Well, okay, there's
enemies in the area. There's a DLC enemy that appears with him if you've downloaded that little mini, like a mini Fire and Ice DLC.
Well, there's 2 things. It's called Fire and Ice, and that comes with elemental weapons that kind of spawns a random enemy, just a new enemy in an area that you thought was safe because it killed me a couple times because like where did this dude come from? It's like, oh yeah, downloaded DLC, he has a flaming sword. So there's a fire variant for each of the types, and there's an ice variant. You get all the fire variants first, and I had all the fire variants. I didn't see a single ice variant before I quit the game. But you have fire and ice, which is it's essentially 10 weapons, 5 fire, 5 ice, kind of given to a random enemy that spawns in a new area, or a new enemy that spawns in an old area. And then you get something called the cutting edge, which gives you a free armor called the angel armor. No, it gives you a couple of armors, I think, one of each type. But you have to...
Turns out the DLC wasn't worth anything.
But that's why it was free. It gave you like a whole suit. But the suit that it gives you is a pretty cool build. It works in accordance with like using the energy bar and stuff like that. But I used it for a while, and then we discovered the best armor in the game and that defense doesn't mean anything. So I quickly backed off the angel set, which is a cool astronaut.
Which is the set that the enemies are wearing normally when you fight them.
Yeah,
well, that one is. I guess they're not all wearing it, but that one is wearing that armor set. Looks like a weird, fancy white astronaut kind of looking guy. And he will jump you in the middle of fighting that first loader. Your best bet probably is to maybe
kill the loader,
fight the loader like below him, and then come back and fight him later. There's also a drone flying around there, very irritating.
Yeah, that's hands down the worst of the loader fights. Now, there's a distinct way to fight them because they have these like little exhaust ports that open up, and you can wail on that exhaust port kind of like a Death Star, and just it takes like triple damage when you hit it in the exhaust port.
Yeah.
And once you figure that out, and the chaos of the combat calms down, that's the hardest. The first one's the hardest one. Easy.
There's one on like the third map, maybe the one that's sitting in the when you first get him, you don't have that armor yet. He's sitting in the. We hadn't talked about one of the. We'll talk about here in a second. The kind of the acidy stuff.
Yeah,
that was a little tough too.
Do you want to talk about the first boss?
I'm not there yet.
Oh,
I have a few more notes first.
Well, bah
I know we're taking a lot of time, and we got a podcast is gonna be longer than normal. I feel like. We note earlier we talked about the different weapon types. One of the few times you said there's a hammer. There you are. I wrote hammer enemy trick in my notes, I guess, because there's a door you open. The guy knows that door is like, I need help, let me out. It's like the first person you've heard talk to you out.
You're like,
saying words. Yeah, don't fall for that crap. You open him up and he's like, die. And it's your first time you're going to see a guy. Now, most likely, if you're not paying attention, he's going to come out that door and mollywop you with a hammer and kill you instantly, which I think is probably happened to you.
No, but I didn't get the hammer from him, and that enemy is a one-time spawn.
But that same enemy type appears in the next
appears
map.
later, but you got the hammer out of him.
I got the hammer, swung it once or twice. As heavy duty type, it's not for me. I did it like you said, get to like proficiency 5 for the achievement. Before we get to other stuff, level design for this, all the maps. Also, we'll say it now. I said over again. All the maps are incredibly dense. Labyrinthine is a great word I call it, and you are unlocking shortcuts, which are actually pretty dang good.
Incredibly powerful shortcuts.
Yes,
and sometimes
it feel good.
Sometimes a shortcut doesn't feel like a shortcut at first, and you're like, "What is this?" Like, you'll come into like shoot 2 shortcuts back to back, and you're like, "Huh? I already had a shortcut here. What am I doing? Why?" And then you're like, "Oh my god, these 2 shortcuts are amazing." you don't realize like
it's opening doors, and those little lifts are really nice. Little like you put your hand.
Oh yeah, the single is literally like a single elevator. Like you grab the thing,
and
put your boot
up and down. Really cool. Like that. And I wrote collectibles, of course. You've mentioned them in passing.
Audio logs.
And there's something else. I feel like there was something else. Is there nothing besides audio logs?
It's like audio logs.
There's these. Another collectible. I didn't get them all because we didn't beat the game. There's another little collectible. I forget what it was. Majority of the audio log people were just talking about how bad things are.
Yeah, and how bad they got.
Yeah. And one of the areas we got to talk about too, because Scott mentioned a second ago, is you're going to go down into a dark section of this map. There are 2 things about this that you kind of need to think about. One, your suit does not inherently have light. You have to, if you don't have the armor, if you don't have a torso piece on your armor, you don't have light.
Yeah.
Which is a very strange choice to make. The guy in the video was running around in the dark because he didn't take the time in the beginning to get all his armor pieces. Whatever. Light. Down there is also the acid floor, which is very dangerous now. You pretty much cannot deal with it at all.
Unless you want to do what we call like
suicide runs,
where you're like, I've already died. Let me just run in and see if there's anything. Because once you pick up an item, you got the item in your inventory. It's no big deal.
Classic Souls stuff.
Yeah, you can't. It's okay to do suicide runs.
The darkness area, which you'll come back to here later. I don't know if we'll get
darkness. Sorry.
But we'll come back. We might come back to that. I don't know, because this podcast is going to run so freaking long. Did add the acid, which we've hinted at a cure a little bit.
Yes.
So first boss. This is where the game ended for us originally. This is also where the game pseudo ended for me a second time, but later in the game, because the boss comes back.
Yes. It's called PAX.
Pacification, Automation, X.
Yeah.
PAX. Two things I wrote. You cannot fight it flat out, which we did not see in that video. You have to annoyingly break the armor on both of his legs to make it fall down, and then wail on it. Sounds easy. I don't see it that way. I wrote it took me, back on this thing, it took me more tries than the second boss, the third boss, and the first and second bosses of the DLC. This boss took me, I was just like, if I beat nothing else, I want to beat this boss. And that's what I wrote. Because I kept track when I fought the second and the third and the DLC bosses. I was like, PAX took me so many more tries. Almost because we just flat out. And it's like, it's these things you like wish you're better at games sometimes. Like he telegraphs everything he's going to do. He flat out telegraphs every single attack he's going to do. And my brain could just not wrap around dealing with him. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It's one of those things like I know what I'm supposed to do, but my hands wouldn't do what I'm telling them to do. Mm-hmm. If that makes any sense. Yep. Hold on, I was double checking something because like a good way to describe like what the PAX kind of is and kind of looks like, he's a bigger version of the, what do you call it, the Ed 209 from RoboCop, the mech thing that rolls around is like, yeah, but except for this one has didn't he have arms because he would swing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
knocking the hell out of you the whole time.
And so instead of like having the gun turrets, he like these little arms that had these huge, thick, like broadswords on them.
Well, yeah, because most important thing about this boss is when you kill him, you get his boss weapon, which we'll say it now, is the weapon I use the rest of the game.
The entire game.
There is nothing better than the first boss weapon.
Yeah,
it is crazy. This is one thing, this is not just this developer, this is all developers sometimes, that some people just don't think long term about equipment.
Yeah.
This weapon should carry me for a little bit longer, and I should stumble into something better. What happens is, it comes into scaling too. There's a weapon in the DLC which has slightly lower attack, but higher scaling. Guess what? It doesn't matter. I did runs with both weapons, and the PAX weapon always hit harder because the scaling doesn't work.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
So the scaling didn't work. So technically, the DLC weapon, I should have replaced PAX weapon with the DLC weapon if the scaling was working. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't. So I literally used PAX my entire rest of my time on this game. I've looked at other things. I equipped other things. I've tried different things.
Me too.
And I was just like, I'm dying. Put my PAX weapon back on.
And then just do better.
Yeah, just slaughter things. We'll talk about the second boss here in a minute. I tried a different approach on that boss. Got slaughtered. Went back to PAX. Put the thing down. Mm-hmm. It's just like crazy. I don't remember what it was. I keep calling it the PAX weapon. It's something rig. I don't know.
Single rig. I think it was literally called the PAX single rig blade or whatever.
I don't know, but it's the weapon.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Because you also get fight. I don't know. Because you'll have a twin rig by now too if you fought the guy, which you probably fought the guy up top. Twin rig is cool. It's like two smaller pieces on your arm that's really really fast. But I don't know, no stopping power. Like it has no because weapons all have a stagger stat or something like that.
Knockback or stagger, one of the two.
So, but it has it. Doesn't matter when you're fighting PAX. You can't really stop him. But anyway, PAX is the nightmare of this game because I fought PAX multiple times here. I fought him in one of the DLCs that you didn't play multiple times. One of the DLCs. He's pretty much why I stopped playing that DLC. And PAX is again why I did not beat this game.
Yes.
He comes back later. That's how annoying this boss is. And not something about the boss. He's not complicated.
I just
don't.
Doesn't work. My hands, I'm like, okay, as soon as he does this, I'm supposed to leave, dash through his legs or whatever. And
I forgot to mention you dodging. We talk about walking. You have a dodge. We mentioned dodging and sprinting. The slide attack. I forgot to mention that.
That is pretty dope.
It looks cool. It's kind of fun. Not entirely sure how it works. I feel like sometimes I would be running and I would mean to do it and it wouldn't happen. Sometimes I think you can decide to slide to the left or slide to the right. I think you can decide in the controls how to do it. Looks very fun. It's one of the coolest parts. I feel like it gets you like it confuses the enemies. It seems to do. On regular bosses don't care.
Yeah.
It seems to confuse enemies a little bit. It's like getting a free attack before the fight starts a lot of the times.
Well, a lot of the dashing, dash attacks, like when you're sprinting towards the enemy and you hit him, especially with the single rig, the PAX weapon, he'd just over the head swing. It just really
he'll slide. Sometimes he'll go under and knock people into the air too.
Yeah, I think it's very, very, very powerful.
Very cool move. What are your thoughts on PAX? We got to move on.
Yeah, well, we're not going to go as much detail, like, because this is
the general. My notes can sit in the next area, or it gets like shorter and shorter,
progressively shorter. Yeah.
So the podcast is changing. So,
but no, he's like I said, he's the opening boss. He's the make it or break it type situation. Like, if you can make it past him, you can make it past the rest of the game. Until we decide to throw 3 of them at you at once. Ha 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 ha. We're just kidding. Wink. But yeah, like, I mean, and the messed up thing is what you fight is a damaged one too. He doesn't have full access to his weaponry. He's like, he starts to fight by saying, "This is offline. That is offline. This is working. That is working. We will use these crowd control methods." And like, he's not even a fully functioning one, and he's so difficult. And the ones you fight later are full functioning ones. I think that's another reason why it makes them harder.
Mm-hmm. You didn't fight the one. You didn't play the DLC where you fight more, did you?
No. But the way you talked about it, I'm glad I didn't.
So yeah, that's the end of not the end. You will come back to what's this place called? Abandoned Production. Mm-hmm. You will get on after you beat PAX. There's a train. You go up to the train and you ride off to the next area, which is cleverly called Central Production B. Mm-hmm. The first thing you get here is you're introduced to the drone, your own very little drone companion and drone skills. This ranges from useful to forgetting you have it.
Yeah, often. Like, I would forget that I would... Well, the thing that happens because of the stupid energy battery bar is the energy battery bar...
That's I forgot. The drone uses your battery. That's right.
Yeah,
I said there was a third thing, forgot what it was.
I didn't want to bring it up until we actually started talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the crappy thing about this is your energy bar, your battery bar goes up only when you're attacking. Mm-hmm. And then once you're done attacking, it will slowly deplete. Now, the cool thing about the drone is the whole point of the drone is you're supposed to be able to use it to kite people. But for those who don't know what kiting is, it's to lure an enemy towards you or away from other enemies so you can have one-on-one. Now, the only way to do this is to have energy. The only way to have energy is to attack people. So you have to be moving, have attacked somebody or killed something recently enough to have enough energy, because it tells you, like, your battery bar has segments of how far, and as long as you have battery enough for the segment, you can use a drone. Now, if you're trying to kite somebody and you're like, oh, I see him, but before you make it to him to activate your drone and your bar runs out, guess what? You don't get to use your drone. And on top of that, there are some doors later that require the drone, but when you go to those doors, guess what? They don't need energy to use them. So then why do I need energy the whole energy bar is the bane for me. It's one of the most useless and annoying things about the game.
I wouldn't mind if the drone had its own energy bar separate.
Or
it regenerate, like, charges itself while not in use.
Or I wouldn't have minded just what's I'm looking for?
Or a cooldown.
No, what's I'm looking for? This happens in certain RPGs. It is a continual use of your mana bar. Like, there's certain RPGs like Diablo likes and stuff where you get a spell like stone armor or some sort of orbital, and you activate it, and say you have a full bar that has you have 100 MP, and it's like, oh, activating this skill has a constant upkeep of 10% of your mana bar. Cool. That's I will sacrifice that. Let me have 10% of my mana bar will constantly be being used, but I get this really cool stone armor that lets me have take 10% damage boost or whatever, or armor boost. But it didn't know what it wanted to do with the battery bar. Like, if I'm cool, let me use the drone and or let the battery bar slowly fill back up, or treat it like an MP bar. Let me take some blue exo juice to make it shoot the energy bar. But the fact that it would go up and down, like, like a recharging battery, which makes sense, but it's so annoying and stupid. Like,
Yeah, I didn't like dealing with it.
because I wanted to build like a cool magic build, because I like magic builds and on everything, but it was too. I just stopped using it. I would. I don't know. I stopped trying to find reasons to use my drone. The only time I ever used the energy bar is when I was trying to do those executions and the dismemberments and stuff. Past that, I even re-augmented my entire suit because I was like, I'm not going to use it, so let me use heavy armor. Since heavy armor says like the energy depletes faster or slower or something, I forget.
Yeah,
but that was my least favorite thing. Is the stupid battery bar was so obnoxious, had so many ways of going up and going down, and then it went down so fast. I don't know. I hated it.
and it has like there'll be a
Too many uses too.
way too many things to use it, but you'd have a augment. What's it called?
Implant.
Implant that you would always your bar would you would always maintain 10% of your bar, which I guess you could fire a little laser, but other than that you can't do anything else with 10% of an energy bar unless you dump all your other implants into maybe increasing your energy bar. But at that point you can't do anything else.
Yes,
It's really
I don't know.
one-sided. I don't know. It sucked. Moving on.
But is it in this area? Near the end of Central Production B, I think, is where
You come back here, and that's when you use the drone to go to the other area. It's all I got it all here. Quickly about this area, Central Production B. It is just a big factory. There's not much visually to talk about here. I wrote two things. It's much larger than the first area. It's freaking pretty huge.
It's got a lot of verticality.
And I said this is the first place you'll have deaths from falling. You can just fall off of stuff in this area. Really irritating.
There's no
there's tons of death. Yeah, there's no rail. You just walk off of stuff or turn ever so slightly too far. Enemy just kind of smacks you the right way. Enemies can fall off too, but like so many deaths from falling here that I had. I don't know about you. Died a lot from falling here.
I didn't die as much, but I did die a bit.
Yeah. Two other things. Start running into security enemies. They're security rig users. Very irritating. This is where you find their staff weapon, the first staff weapon. They are extremely proficient at the staff weapon. You can kill them eventually, and that's when I first started farming their armor. Weirdly, they will die and not come back, but then like when you go to another map and you come back to this map, they every now and then like one of them will come back. Very confusing. I think the game was confused about what was happening there. But I did try to get as much of that. The security armor was technically better than what I was wearing, so I was getting the security armor set. I collected it all eventually. Still dying in like 2 hits. Made no difference. Especially fighting those guys who would literally like start spinning their staffs and you're dead for even know you got hit. Very. We hadn't talked about how fast you die in this game too much, but like it's ridiculous. Like you think you die fast in a Dark Souls game, this is way quicker. This game's also way more fast paced than any Dark Souls game. Maybe even faster paced than Bloodborne.
I'm sorry. You mentioned this a second ago, having a 10% bar of your battery, and you're like, all you can do is shoot a laser. You don't shoot a laser. You call in a drone to shoot a laser because your drone. You have a choice between a long-range drone and a short-range melee drone. And the drone would like charge tackle people with like a little spark plug, or it would shoot people.
Yeah, you got lots of drone attacks. I didn't write them all down. I don't think I got them in my notes.
But they broke up between long-range and short-range and elemental.
Had a couple of like ones that stun enemies and other. Had lots of different cool uses and stuff. I had one that slowed enemies down.
So I was just thinking about that. I was like, you never shot a laser. I was like, oh yeah, the drone is what shot the laser.
It's default laser shooting is what it does.
Yeah.
That's how you kite enemies to you.
So I didn't mean to go back there, but yeah.
In the beginning of this part level 2 is I call it the security bot hallway, which you eventually told me it's the item at the end is not worth fighting. The security bots, you fight them throughout the whole game, and they're probably one of the most obnoxious things to fight because I could never figure out, no matter how many of them I fought, I could never figure out how to fight them.
And they're not worth fighting. There's like these tripod, long neck. They're like mini loaders. And
there's also mini loaders, so they're different. They're faster. The big loaders and the mini loaders aren't fast. These things are fast. They jump.
They leaped at you like giant robot dogs.
Irritating to fight. There's a hallway. Eventually, I could be forever to kill one of them. And the hallway has like 5. And Blake's like, just sprint down there and grab the item. I don't think the item's even worth it.
Oh, I was not worth it at all. Not
you
worth
sprint
it
on there
at
and
all.
you get it's some sort of version 2 version of one of your.
It's like
implants.
an implant that you don't use. I
Yeah,
didn't
and I was like,
use
well,
the
that's
version
like,
one.
when I wrote it down because the security, I spent like an hour or so in that security bot hallway, and it freaking sucked.
And then I told you, I was like, why don't you just run past him, do a suicide? You're like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, just do a suicide run. It's so much less stressful. I did a lot of suicide runs. I'm just like, screw it. I've already died. Let me just see what's around here.
Yeah. You also run here to the first time of a hammer guys running to a mounted thing, and they mount their hammers, which are apparently turrets.
Yeah, I didn't fully understand that.
They mount the thing, and like the hammer part they hold on to, and like the bottom of it shoots bullets now, which is annoying.
Only while it's hooked up to these
mounts.
These mechanical arm mounts.
Yeah. I mentioned it a second ago. Mini loaders, really pointless to fight, pretty irritating to fight. Also, the first time the game even loosely hints that you can stand in place and jump and duck.
Huh?
Seriously?
I mean, duck.
You can jump and duck. Yeah. You didn't do that when you fought the mini. It pops up on your screen for like 1 second, teaching you how to, like on the first mini loader you fight, that you could stand still. And I forget the controls for it, but you can hop. Because they swing low and then they'll swing high, and you can duck under their little arms. It's probably how you're supposed to fight the security bots too.
Nope, didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, you can jump and duck. It's too irritating to use.
I kind of knew you could jump because you would sprint and like
A sprint leap is one thing. This is like a standing still hop to hop under something swinging under you. Very irritating. Right. Yeah, and a duck. There's a duck. You can literally duck under it, and it's like put into the game only to fight loaders.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. My brain was trying to figure. I was like, what were the mini loaders? Okay, they were like the ones that had like the little gravitonics that were kind of like they would move around. We had that big shield in the front almost.
Some of them, I don't think had shields, but
because one of them would like busted through this wall. I remember those. I just ran past them. I never fought them.
I fought a couple because I thought you had to. And you fight some of the first ones you fight are a lot harder than there's like different variants of them, but they're irritating and worthless. And
it did get to the point where unless it was human or like someone in a rig, I was like, it ain't worth fighting because it wasn't dropping armor for me. It would drop scrap, whatever. If it wasn't someone in a rig, I was just running past him 99% of the time if I could.
As well, this is the first place you'll start running into NPC quest. You'll meet. I wrote Davy, the guy who really wants a drug. There's a drug he really wants really bad, which you'll get from eventually. You get him a drug in a different level. I have to bring the drug back to him. Mm-hmm. I saw the conclusion of his thing. I got through all of his thing. Then you'll meet Irina, Irina. She's the lady that I gave my staff. She wants she has like a dinky staff weapon, mm-hmm. and she's like, I wish I had a better staff. So I gave her my like security staff because I wasn't using it. And she was like happy, and then she wanders off. I talked to her a few other times. She
comes up a couple of times. I think she has her whole other storyline, but it's also like a Dark Souls thing. If you progress too far, mm-hmm. then
there's a character I don't know if I wrote down that I don't know if you knew about. There's a whole character that I kind of heard in passing one time, didn't know where they were, mm-hmm. and it's a person that you have to talk to multiple times throughout the game. If you miss any one, it negates a whole quest line. Mm-hmm. And I was like, one time I read about it in a guide because I eventually went back because I was trying to do a little better. I went back and found a Neo Seeker guide.
Oh, because I remember you getting a guide. You're like, I'm gonna go back and make sure you get all the.
I was going back for all the different items, and I missed so many
items and shortcuts.
And it was like, make sure you talk to so and so, and I was like, yeah,
who?
It's gone. Before we get to the boss, I guess we are going to skim past this faster because like it's just you're running around and dying and you're fighting stuff. Let's be honest.
But on your way to the boss is where you get introduced to the liquidator set. It's your first one there. The first
is
piece.
It there?
It's the back half of it. On the way, because remember, on the way to the boss there's a hallway of acid, but you take that shortcut which you can go up and around. Yeah. But the ones down the hallway, that is where you can kill them for liquidator.
I didn't write it in it's not my notes here. I think it's because at this point we didn't know what it was.
Yeah, we didn't know how awesome and amazing it was.
So we didn't know what it was for. So yeah, you do fight the enemies here that drop the liquidator set, which is, if you Google it, it's the best armor in the game. Like there's no reason once you get the liquidator. You you can level it up too. So it's you equip it and level it up. I mean, you level it up and all it does is increase its armor. But
no, it does other thing because the reason the liquidator set is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go because the legs.
It doesn't matter yet. Well, it matters on that hallway, I guess.
It matters in that hallway because the legs level. Because I think everything leveled up to 4 times. Level 1 through 4, but level 1 it automatically decreased acid damage, which were like these little pools of acid on the floor.
I think it negated completely at 2.
At 2, completely immune to it.
Yeah,
and became amazing.
Completely immune to acid damage. Completely
immune. And then I forget if it was the chest piece or the
mask.
No, the mask was for poison, for people who shoot poison canisters at you.
Yeah.
And from the get-go, you were immune to the poison canisters.
Yeah.
So your head, you're immune to environmental poisons. Because sometimes you'd walk into a room filled with gas and you're like, I got the liquidator set on.
Yeah.
And just walk around and explore. No harm, no foul to you.
It was section I was doing the guide. There was like at some point later, I don't know when it was. It was like, you press this button, you got to like hurry because this room fills with gas. And I was like, no, I don't.
Got the liquidators.
The guide had no mention of the liquidator set.
And now, because the legs made you immune to the acid, and then your mask made you immune to any sort of poisonous, any sort of gaseous attack. Now, I believe it was the armor, or maybe it was the whole set bonus. Maybe it was the whole set bonus, because each one increased your...
The whole set, the set bonus was elemental resistance.
Elemental resistance. And so at a later part, like part 3, you actually start encountering, because the company's finally, as the story progresses, they've activated some fail safes, and so you have some actual other people coming to the town, to Creo.
Ironically, the easiest enemies to fight in the game.
Yeah. And one of the first ones you meet is, like I said, they're gas canister dudes, and you got the helmet on, immune to them. Just like
you're jumping ahead pretty far.
The canister hits you, you take damage, but there's no gas. But the damage you take from the canister hitting you is minuscule. So like they're firing, and you're just like, I'm immune to this. I'm a god. You kill them, and then you fight some variants of them. Instead of canisters, they have flamethrower. And as long as you're on like at least level 2, like I will. Again, these things have flamethrowers, and you just walk through their flamethrowers as they're hitting you, and just hit them in the face.
I mean, I just got out of the way of the flamethrower. They're so slow.
Oh, yeah. But the hands down, the Liquidator set was the best set. And
yeah. And it's just like any other armor. At this point in the game, you have 8 or 9 sets of armor, and you have no way of knowing. The game does not indicate in any way that the Liquidator is the only set of armor you'll need the rest of the game. It's just like any other set. It don't even really actively tell you that you're immune to acid. It doesn't actively tell you you're immune to gas. The game doesn't even tell you.
Drew figured it out while trying to figure out why armor wasn't working.
Yeah, I was googling why armor don't work, and so it was just like, just use Liquidator. It does this and this and that, and I was just like, what?
It does? What? And
that's why it's not in my notes right here, because I didn't find out until later. But let's get back to
sorry.
Is it not terribly important? The for the boss, so the armor's there. You run into your second big loader. Down in the where it's like they're like the other factories. This is a factory. Just another freaking loader.
It's like a crushing factory.
Yeah, on there. I thought that one by making it forget because that one you have enough space from that one. You can run up to it and like hit it. It activates and gets angry, and you walk away from it. It kind of calms back down. That's how
as long as you've killed everything in the area.
That one can smack you into a freaking hole, which it done to me more than once or twice, and kill you instantly.
It's like locked up in a corner.
It's in the area, but it has bridges going to it, and there's like gaps, and it can hit you to the gaps and kill you. Which
those gaps were like the crushing machines, like crushing.
Very annoying. Keep moving. Second boss, called a LU-74, quote unquote firebug.
Which you do see in the first area, which is pretty cool. Like as soon as you walk out of the med bay for the first time, you see that thing fly across that's going to be your first boss, but you don't fight it until now. Okay. Because it makes an appearance here too, where you kind of like see it.
Yeah.
That is a rough fight, but I still fought it less times than I fought the packs.
I wrote 2 phases, took me less tries than the first boss.
Yeah. And I also got to the point for me, because I was half trying. I'm like, man, I'm not trying to play this 15 times to figure out the pattern. I fought it 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, I'm doing something wrong. What am I doing wrong? So I watched someone else play the fight, and I was like, okay. Because like when you watch someone play a fight, it's the best version, and that person is usually a lot better than I am, and they cut together 100 videos and do like, I know to not be as self-conscious about watching those videos. Sometimes watching someone do something I've tried 9 times on and beat the fight in a minute 20 seconds makes me feel like dog poo. But like just having foreknowledge of how the fight works, I was like, okay, I guess it. And also on that fight, because of how it works, it's like, ooh, let me try a faster weapon. So I was like,
I tried to. This is one of the points where I tried a different weapon, and then defaulted back to my original weapon.
it was either the staff or the dual rig, because I wanted speed.
I wrote my quotes here, the fire, because you get one of the fire weapons. I wrote fire staff here.
Yeah, and I ended up just going, ugh, and went back to the single rig boss weapon, and ended up, I think, 3 tries for this is really all it took.
Yeah, I don't remember how many tries it took me, but definitely less.
I did 1, 2 back to back, and I was like, because I did 1, did okay, did 2, did really good, and activated the second part of the fight.
Yeah, 2 phases. And
got murdered, and I was like, what am I doing wrong? I was like, nope. I'm watching a video. What's the distinction between the 2 phases? Remind me. It's okay because the first one he has like the little he has like the rotating arms, and as you break the arms off, you break like half of the arms off. I think he has 6 or 8, so you get him down to 3 or 4, and then he does that thing where you break the arms. That's the whole point of the first phase, and then the second phase is he'll rest and his little core will pop out the bottom. You have to hit the core. But the only way to do that is you have to like get in fast enough because he starts spinning the arms like a shield.
That's right. I remember doing a slide attack, sliding in, hit it, and get back out.
You have to slide on and get out, yeah. Because otherwise he'll like smash down or he'll spin. So you have to get in. It's literally guerrilla attacks. It's hit, go. Do not stand there longer than 1 hit. And then because I beat it on my 3rd try. With the 2 fights prior, watched the video and then fought and beat it on my 3rd try. And then beating him, you get what you think will be really cool because he gives you a twin rig boss weapon, and you're like, "Oh, this will be awesome."
It should be.
It could be, but I was obsessed with the Pax weapon. Mm-hmm. It was the best weapon in the game for me, and that kind of concludes the central production.
A bit. You come back here.
You do come back here.
So the next area, my notes are short for this too, but God, we're making a wall. I got so many notes left. Oh my God, this podcast.
We can kind of plow through these fairly quickly though, because like all the areas are samey. It's a production lab.
Resolve Biolabs has an exterior. You're back. So we missed the first area has some exterior. Your second area is all interior. Mm-hmm. This has a mix of both exterior and interior again. Very samey. It's called Resolve Biolabs. Guess what? There's some labs.
Yeah.
I did wrote very important for me. There is a sewer section. You might get more of this in the podcast if I can keep it up, depending on the game. But as far as I know, I'll keep saying it. All games have a sewer level. Play video games. Start paying attention.
Every video game there is. It might not be called the sewer level. It might be called like the sub waterway or a waterways or sewers. Don't be fooled by the fancy terminology. They're sewers. Yep. Every video game has a sewer level. There's a
sewer section here, very important for me. The outside area of this is swarming with security bots until a later part. There's like 3, 4, 5 of them wandering around. This place is an absolute nightmare. And it is like literally sprinting through here, trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be touching to move on. I hated this little section until it swaps enemy types later.
Yeah, and through that whole section was why I was just... It got to a point where I would just do... trying to figure out where to go. There's also a loader there covered in acid flooring, and like there's a drone in there too. Hmm. That was like the first one I beat, I think, and I beat the second one, and then I would go back later and beat that first one. Yeah. But anyway, but the majority of my time here, because you go through shortcut after shortcut after shortcut, and then you finally trigger an alarm. Or you pull a switch, and when you pull the switch, it activates the story event. No,
well, you said so. You mentioned your loader, right? Mm-hmm. So I did the loader. I did all that mess too. Like you said, I come back later, fought the loader with the armor. You meet the doctor. Don't remember her name. You meet the doctor lady, and she you're gonna run around to help her, and then I think right after she gives you the drone door upgrade that helps you use like 3 times in the whole game. That there's another call across the company or whatever, and then after that event with her. Is when not all of them, a lot of security bots are replaced with these flamethrower dudes.
That's also the room, when you rescue her, is the room the first time, I think it's the first time you get used, but it's they're firing the gas canisters at you, and you're like, oh my God!
No, that's after.
Is that room?
Yeah, your flamethrower guys are first. Okay. We'll talk about the gas guys here in a second. But boy, was I, like, seeing a new enemy in this game is never fun.
I was dreading it.
Every new, like, oh my God, what now at this point? We have had, like, we haven't been mentioning the ups and downs of the game. Mm-hmm. There are highs and there's lows. The game is very difficult. But by now, we're like seeing something new walk on the screen. You're just like, And this area too with all the security bots, you're just like, oh no, what now? You see these guys walking around kind of with these big old things turning around, and you start fighting these guys. Easiest thing in the game to
Filled
fight.
with joy.
Because they start the flamethrower and they turn so slow that you just walk around behind them and just hit them in the back, and you can trigger a back attack thing on them because they're so slow. Love fighting flamethrower guys, and then paired in a minute here too with the gas canister guys. I would fight them the rest of the dang game. I know that the game's too easy, man. Forget like everything else is so irritating. After fighting the security bots, the security soldiers and stuff like that, so many things are just like so irritating. Those guys are a godsend. Right around here in my notes is where I finally Googled about defense. Somewhere around here I wrote it seems to have no effect. That's what I was told about. Switch to the liquidator armor that is immune to poison floor and gas. This is where I would have learned it, and I would have went and fought that loader standing in the poison and other cool stuff like that. This is where I would have done. Finally have gotten sick of getting, because I would have had the full security set by now and it making no difference. It'd be security bots slaughtering me. Everything just slaughtered, except for flamethrower guys. Everything just killing me all the time, irritated out of my mind. Now
I think you were further than me. Like I beat this.
I was at this point. I was further than you. Yes.
It's one of those things where you beat the first boss a lot faster than I did. I beat the second boss a lot faster than you did.
Yes.
And then you played because there's like one of those things like once you beat the second boss, I was like, oh, I beat the second boss. I was like genuinely happy that I beat it, and then it took you. I think it took you a lot longer to not to fight the boss, but to get there. And then I think you were, I don't know, for whatever reason, and I was like, oh yeah, do this. I gave you notes on how to get through it faster.
Yeah.
And then once you got to the boss, you did beat it, but I was generally kind of happy. But then you beat the third boss before I did. That took me a minute to get there.
Is that one of my best runs in the games coming up here in a minute?
Yeah. But because you were, in fact, you spent more time after the second boss running around this area is when you did all your research, and I was able to get the liquidator set sooner, and I think that's how I was able to fight. I fought the loader bot earlier right there.
Yes.
Because if it's one of those, because we're talking back and forth, and he's giving me notes, I'm giving him notes on like what to do.
Doing our best to survive this game.
Yes, but if you play the Surge, liquidator set is the best set in the entire game.
There's something else. Played the liquidator set in the DLC. Doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, and there's some really cool looking armors in the DLC, and I'm like liquidator.
Don't matter.
Doesn't matter, liquidator.
Yeah, doesn't matter, liquidator. There's not a boss for Resolve Biolabs. You kind of just leave.
Yeah,
which is strange.
I think it's like if anything, I think it's a heavy story dump because you meet that doctor, and then there's like 2 or 3 additional.
First person really just sits and talks to you for a minute.
Gives you some dialogue.
Yeah. You leave there and you go back to Central Production B, where you're heading to.
You now have your drone
that can open a door.
Open up.
It's actually a door you can see beforehand, but you can't really do anything there yet. But you're going to a place called the Circulation Tower. I don't know its relevance. Who knows what anything's for in this game. This is where you first see the guys running towards this building, and you go to the door and you open it up, and that's the Circulation Tower. It's just another big interior level back in Circulation B, Central Production B.
Yeah, but it is okay. Yeah, because you don't leave the area. You just open a door. It doesn't load up a new area. You just go up, but you're still located in Central Production.
You're still in Central Production. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Liquid.
The first thing you're going to fight is the grenade launcher guys with gas. Gas goes punk. It'll hit you and bounces off. Does like chips your health, and then you can see the gas. I'm just like, I don't care.
I'm immune, son.
I don't care. Like, yeah, I'm starting to just destroying these fools. It's them and flamethrower guys are in here, and this is also the 4th loader. I have a weird thing I can remember. This is the 4th loader. 4th loaders that I fought. There's 5 coins, 4 loaders. I got a 5th coin somewhere. We'll talk about it here in a second. 4th loader. That one, I forget. I wrote trick this one, but I don't remember what I did to trick because he's right inside, really light in the entrance of the Circulation Tower. Moves off in the corner, sits on the corner. I wrote trick this one, but I don't know what I did to trick it. Maybe I don't know. 4th, who cares?
Because their HP doesn't come back. I think you were able to literally hit it, run back. Like have it loose.
I actually would have killed this one. I would have killed the 4th one before even going back to kill the 3rd one eventually later.
Yeah.
And the 3rd one's where I would have eventually killed it last, but learned that I could stand in front of it when it spins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, that's the last of the loaders. But all the loaders have been dropping coins. I'll get back to that. I have my notes here. circulation tower, I wrote it's easier than any other part of the game.
Yeah, because it's flamethrower dudes.
I ran through it and killed freaking everything. Erna's in here again. I wrote just talks.
Just talks, and I think she asked for a better staff. I think you
No, you already did the staff. So she might have asked you for. I already have given her the staff. And this is a conversation that just triggers her to appear somewhere else.
Okay, because you can give her a random staff, and then here you can give her a better one.
So I already given her security staff, so
which is a pretty high-ranking one, yeah.
Yeah. All of this is lots of fights. Only it's like a bunch of flamethrower dudes and grenade guys. Just like this is about the only time in the game I genuinely felt like a murderer. It was pretty ridiculous. Ran through this freaking place. What this place ends in eventually is you go all over this. It's like it's a big elaborate thing because everything's elaborate in this game. Is you finally land at your first, I don't know if it's only, but first actual rig upgrade where you get a more powerful rig that has more slots. More implant slots. You get a brand new, it's like the security rig or something like that. You get a brand new rig.
And also lets you open up security doors, which creates more shortcuts.
That's true, yeah. And you come out the other side of other doors. I wrote right here, after doing the production circulation, I keep saying production, after running the circulation tower, I was holding a ton of scrap. Like so much. I took advantage of holding as much as I was holding. And went and like you can crack, what people call it cracking souls. You can get little pieces of scrap and like use them and you get more. I was holding so much anyway, but I went ahead and used a bunch of items. I was holding 50,000 scrap for the 50,000 scrap achievement. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. I used that and I had all that and used all of that for level ups and stuff like that. At this point, we talked about the loaders each dropped a coin. We didn't mention the guys earlier, the little cult guys.
Yeah,
I forget what they're called. There's these guys like
cult is right.
They're called the vending machine cult, and you could kill them all. They always come back though, but if you kill them all, they're saying at this vending machine. If you have the 5 coins, now I say 5, 4 loaders, 5 coins. I don't know how that is.
I think you pick up one of the coins as like an item.
Maybe it's right there. Who knows?
That might be right there.
So this is a weird thing because it's connected to the DLC in a weird way. But you put these. You have these. If you have the 5 coins, you kill this cult, and you talk to this vending machine. They're all kind of worshiping. The vending machine like moves out of the way and the wall opens up and there's an armor set in here. I forget what's its name?
Iron Mouse.
The Iron Mouse.
MOUS. Mouse.
Yeah. Iron Mouse armor set, which is worthless, of course.
MAUS, whatever.
Like all armor besides look at it's worthless. I forget what it has some special effect, like it doesn't use any power or something.
Yeah.
Which would be great if it mattered.
But it's a all or nothing. You can't just equip pieces. You equip Iron Mouse, you equip the head to toe Iron Mouse, and it comes with a theme song. That was the thing. It came with the special music that played.
Okay. So anything else about Circulation Tower and anything like that? Because I'm about to go.
The Circulation Tower takes us to that boss, right? That's what you're trying to get to.
No, because I beat the Circulation Tower and I jumped into deals.
You didn't fight the boss first? Did I fight the boss first?
You might have. No, I wouldn't think you would because once you fight the boss here, you get pushed forward. You can't go back.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So we activated...
Yeah.
No, because the DLC is broken into 2 parts. You have to beat this boss in order to get to the second part of the DLC, right? That's what it is. Okay.
Very confusing.
Sorry. Yeah.
So there is a part of Central Production B that you could see, but doesn't really do anything until you buy the DLC. And I forget, the DLC is like $5.
It's when you talk to Erna for the first time.
You go down the stairs.
You go down the stairs, and it's just an empty subway platform that's for like exiting the facility.
Yeah.
But nothing goes on down there unless you have the DLC.
Yeah. Which we went and bought both of them. They're like really cheap, $5.
Yeah, they're like $4.99. We
$4.99 a piece. Yeah. We've got the game on GameFly. Throw the company a little money. That's our little dash of support there. So when you activate the DLC, there's a train down there now, and what the trains want to do. And I did a lot of Googling first, and a lot of it seems because of how the DLC is divided, is you would want to do part 1. I don't know why the DLC is. I forget why it's divided, but you do the part 1 of the DLC before you fight the third boss. It's very complicated. But you go to the first DLC. It's called A Walk in the Park, part 1. This is it's a nice change of pace visually, I guess a little bit. You are in a destroyed theme park. That was what's the name of the company?
Creo.
Creo had built a theme park to like, yay, Creo's cool, but everything's going bad there too. Because you meet a guy there. I don't remember his name.
I think his name's like Isaac.
Something like that.
He hides in like a mobile med bay.
Yeah, he kind of his thing. He was there with another team of Creole soldier guys. Thing crashes. He's only alive. He's hanging out in a med bay that's like hanging on the edge. You can walk back and forth, and it kind of like go boom, go boom. He's like, "Hey man, quit it."
He's on the precipice of a like a sinkhole or whatever.
Oh, what's the whole part of the park falling off? It's a big theme park. It's all so little. The enemies are other animatronics. No, it's like people because they use exosuits. They put humans in the exosuits, and on top of the exosuits, they put like mascots. Mm-hmm. So what you're fighting is mascots.
No, you had some people in rigs, and you have the big mech looking like it looked like
those are mascots.
But then the actual mascots, I think, were automated. They were automaton because when you would like eventually. Because you like decapitate them or whatever, and they're fully mechanical. Mm-hmm. These mascots were, and the only thing about them is there's like 4 mascots, and each mascot came with a different head, so you could equip their head.
Yeah,
which is kind of comical.
Yeah,
and then I found it kind of by accident, but they have a cutting off enough arms, you get a chance. They drop a twin rig weapon, which really just it's robot arms.
I probably got it. It had so many weapons.
Yeah.
You can't storm or nothing. You're just drowning in an inventory full of weapons.
But they had really cool weapons like laser beams and stuff. I'm like, I'd like a phase laser beam.
Like face open up, they shoot the laser at you. Yeah. What you're trying to do here is restore power so you can get to certain parts of the park and get the black box from the guy's crash.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to get information, I guess. I haven't cared much about the story up until this point. Anything to say before the first DLC boss?
No, because even now I'm still using the first boss weapon, the pack sword.
Oh yeah, all the way through.
Yeah.
Eventually you're going to run into. I know we're skimming past, but you're running around, killing stuff, exploring.
In an amusement park scenario.
Yeah. And
sometimes like you're going on rides and hearing some. Well, the whole point of this too is it's weird how it works. Is a lot of this is backstory on. Warren.
Some of the audio logs, yeah. This is where you got to learn a little bit more about what Warren was coming there to do, I guess. Or he worked there before he was paralyzed?
No, he was paralyzed, and going here is what inspired him to join, because part of the exhibits are them talking about, oh, this guy was in a wheelchair, and now look, he's a lumberjack. And it gives you, it's weird that it gives you backstory here. Some of the audio logs you pick up are audio log between, I say Derek, but Warren. Derek's the voice actor, between Warren and his girlfriend, fiance, wife. I don't even know what she was.
Very strange.
And then like it's really built about him and his decision. But then it's weird you hear those audio logs that are from like so far in the past, but then you're technically in the present after the surge happened and it made everything malfunction. Yeah, it was weird kind of way to do the story.
Who knows?
But yeah, that's kind of it. This is basically its backstory for him, for Warren.
So eventually you're going to be wandering into the first DLC boss, which is Squad Chief Helvig. He's the leader of the guy who your little friend you're talking to. He was the chief for that little squad that crashed, and everybody's dead. But your friend and this guy's gone crazy in his suit. I guess was he crazy or he just I don't know.
Maybe
he just attacks you.
Staff user.
This boss could be pretty annoying. I'm guessing. I wrote humanoid staff wielder. As soon as the fight started, he had a staff. I was like, I don't want to fight this guy. How I beat him? I equipped as many HP boosts as I could, as many healing implants as I could, and I just welled on him like attack, a heal, attack, a heal, attack, a heal, attack. I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, I just literally tanked him.
I did the same thing.
I think I told you that's how I fought him. I fought him once. It was okay, kind of a fight, and then like the second time he like flattened me, and I was like, I'm gonna be here forever. I hate staff wielding enemies. Like I hate them. I'd already the security troop guys are so irritating as it is. So and then it's the only time it actually worked in the game. Maybe it would have worked in other fights too. I don't know, but just stacked all my HPs because the DLC is giving you, which is good for me. I was hoping it would carry me through the rest of the main game. The DLC is dropping more powerful versions.
Version 3s of some
even beyond regular, like just like these yellow ones that are more powerful.
Yeah, because I grabbed like a version 3 and I was like, oh, I already have a strong one from the DLC. That's right.
Yeah. I was hoping they would carry me through. When you beat him, your buddy is like I gotta work on this black box. I guess
he's got to like break the encryption or whatever.
Yeah. So you're just like. you just leave. I guess you just leave. You just leave the DLC, which is so weird. And you go back into Central Production B, and you fight the boss, which is Big Sister 1/3.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird name for her.
And it's Sist, SISTR. Big
Yeah.
Sistar 1/3 or 1 of 3. I don't know.
Yeah. I was dreading this fight a little bit when
Me too.
When I'd read about it, because I had the guide this point, and I was reading the guide overcomplicated. The guide I was using kind of overcomplicated with what we're getting into here.
Mm-hmm.
She is 2 phases.
3.
I got 2, only 2.
Because you have the first one. Well, it's like her battlefield is in 3 parts.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
still technically 2 phases, because when you get to the final that's still part of the second phase, I would say. She's a big thing, like a big machine, and kind of in the background. I think one of my first try I shouldn't have, because I made a lot of combat mistakes because I didn't understand what was really happening after. I think reading the guide overcomplicated the fight.
Yeah.
Where I was like, because she kind of does the thing where she has these 2 arms on the first part, and she raises an arm, you kind of just get ready and you move out of the way as she slams an arm, and then she raises, but she always goes right arm, left arm, right arm. It never changes.
Sometimes she would sweep.
I think she did the slams. I thought, and there's other stuff firing at you, but that first phase is really, really easy, and then she lifts up and then backs all the way to the back of the area, and you got this other thing lined with these other little machines,
like a conveyor belt almost.
Yeah, but so you try to like run back and forth and like just smash these other machines. The guy had mentioned like you could run past them and go straight for her, but if you do that, there's a chance that they all just turn. They'll just turn and they'll just like
gang you.
So it's better to kind of like work your way up and just like, and they only take a couple of hits with the rig. You kind of break all these different pieces, and you get up to her. If you've broken everything, you get up to her. She can't really do anything.
Occasionally, she'll like spin
a little bit. Yeah, there's just not much left of that fight. You know, it's kind of strange. So I used figure I'd take a whack at it, and there's an achievement for beating a boss while holding 20,000 scrap. I would never do this normally, but I got her down to like very little health, popped a bunch of the little scrap items, and had 20,000 scrap, and I beat her.
I think I did the same thing for her as well.
Yeah,
is what I did.
Yeah. Any trouble with that boss?
Like I said, it took me 2 or 3 tries, because like you explained it to me. I didn't watch any videos or anything, but I wasn't following the guide either. But you explained it to me, and I was like, and I just kept, I don't know, overthinking it in my head, because she does do. I swear she does a sweep in the first thing, because it's the 2 arms, and the sweep kept getting me. And then I got through once I got the thing down for that.
I bet you can jump hop over that sweep.
Probably, if you could jump. But it took me a couple of tries, but still less on the backs. But I did eventually get through her.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you beat her, you go to like...
It pushes you into the next area, which is very strange.
Yeah.
You have no choice. It literally pushes you into the next
Don't
map.
you just like ride one of those giant elevators down?
Stuff's breaking and falls, and you have to like run across it and jump to this platform and run to this thing, and then just kind of you have to go that way. You can't, because when you hop down to her to start the fight.
Oh yeah.
And you can't go back. So you're pushed to the next area, which is research and development. I wrote right here for right now, short visit first, because I went to the med lab, and right past the med lab here is the next door that's going back into Walk in the Park. Did you do the same thing?
Basically, I ran around the area a little bit.
Yes.
Actually, I think I found the Walk in the Park door before I found the med lab.
I think I did too, actually.
By accident. And I went through it, and I was
I wanted to go in the med lab and get done with that. Okay, Walk in the Park, Part 2.
It's more of the first.
Yes.
But now they have that added thing of this like weird, like cybernetic infection.
Yeah, I call it dark goop.
Dark goop works.
And you start seeing Carbon Cat running around, which is like the famous
because you have Iron Mouse, and he's a superhero.
Iron Mouse and Carbon Cat's like his nemesis.
It's like Popeye and that other guy.
What's his name?
Brutus.
Brutus. So, yeah. So you start getting audio logs and other audio logs of Carbon Cat. You see Carbon Cat, which is a guy in a suit running around losing his freaking mind. You start seeing that. You start fighting the dark goop enemies. I don't remember the significance of the dark goop. Do you?
Okay, sorry. I was looking at it. Was Bluto and then changed to Brutus. But yeah, I just want to make sure I got the name right for Popeye and Brutus.
Very important.
some sort of infection. It's like a nanite infection, and it's also in like the food or the chocolate or something. Something going on there, and it infects something. I don't fully
Who
understand.
knows? They're annoying.
Yeah, they were hands down some of the, like I didn't fight if I could avoid them. I just ran past them. The fights were too annoying.
Yeah. I think we did the opposite things here, but I think you might have messed up by accident. You can rescue or kill an NPC guy who is dressed in the Iron Mouse costume. This Carbon Cat guy has lost his mind, thinks he's Carbon Cat, has kidnapped this other guy who just works there in the Iron Mouse costume, and has tied him to a rocket.
Yeah, I went left when I should have went. I even read the guide because I was like, okay, I'm gonna rescue Iron Mouse or whatever.
You get an achievement for saving him or something.
Yeah, and I went right instead of left because as a grown adult male of 33 years old, I still struggle from left in a snap decision. You're like left or right. I'm like left. Nope, the right one, the other one. I don't know. I don't instinctually know left from my right. It's bad. I have to do the thing sometimes. Like I have to hold the hands up. I'm like, all right, left hand makes an L. Left sometimes because I don't know. It's bad.
Yeah, I will mention on some of the travel thing here before for the boss of the second boss of the DLC. There is a jump. Did you do that jump? Like you're out on some rickety scaffolding, and then there's just this part that you gotta like jump across. You gotta like sprint and jump to this.
Yeah, I did it in like 2 tries. I remember you struggled there forever, and I
do like 10 or 15 tries.
I was afraid to tell you that I did it so quickly.
I was so mad because you don't. One, the game never makes you do that any other place.
It's like parkour.
There's one place. It's like you gotta sprint on this tiny little thing and then jump across, and it's like, this sucks. But got it anyway. This is where the game ended for you.
Yes.
The DLC second boss, Carbon Cat, 2 phases. The first phase,
I could get through without getting hit. I got his pattern down, and that's when I started like, ooh, it's like because I was like. I could block him and then parry his block and knock him, stumble him back and all this other stuff. I was like, okay, I got this. I could get through the first phase.
Yeah.
Like, I'll say 80% of the time without taking a single hit.
Yeah. He's pretty much a normal-sized rig user enemy, but he has a little bit additive of a couple of black goop powers, we'll call them, where he's able to, like, pick up crap and throw it at you.
Or, like Venom and, like, stretch his hand and pick up some rocks and throw them at you or something.
Yeah. But the idea for that is to hopefully get through the first phase without taking too many hits, because the second phase is, I would say, quite a bit tougher. He turns into a giant version of himself, like a big old massive goop-infused mutant thing.
Kind of like a less intimidating and cool version of Akira.
Yeah.
Because he grabbed some like the metal and the rocks from the surrounding area and with the black goop, and he would do like these weird, that crazy tornado effect and stuff, and I tried so many times here and I couldn't do it.
So timing is going to be weird here because this is where Blake quit playing. I played way further than this, but I was playing a lot more than Blake was at a certain point. I forget why, but I got to the part where I eventually quit, and Blake
I told you, I was like, man, just take it. I'm tired of playing it right now. I wanted to play something else. And then you kept saying, hey, do you want to take your turn? And I was like, I don't know. If you can beat the next boss, I'll try. And I was looking for an excuse to quit.
Yeah,
honestly, because I was just kind of tired of it.
Yeah, so I did beat this boss. Achievement for beating Carbon Cat while wearing the Iron Mouse armor. I did it.
That's what I was shooting.
Armor makes no difference, so I went ahead and did it. I did get 9 out of the 10 achievements for the DLC. Because I didn't craft all the gear. I think I never went back and crafted all the gear because I wasn't getting the 1K anyway.
Yeah. Fair.
So after that you go back to research and development. I forget what matter. It doesn't really matter how the DLC ends. It doesn't mean.
I don't even remember because I didn't see it.
You didn't see it. It doesn't really matter. Research and development. I wrote a pretty normal interior level design, just running through labs. There's a new enemy here that you didn't ever fight that regenerates. Kind of like there's like a regenerator. It's not nowhere near as intimidating. There's a regenerating enemy in Dead Space. These guys just kind of get back up one more time. You just put them down again. Way worse sounding when I was reading the guide. Another jump here that took me a ridiculous amount of tries for an item that I probably didn't use. I feel this is gonna be me because you didn't play this part. You run into an NPC named Alec who wants you to find his daughter Maddie. I was like, okay, your daughter's here. This is retarded. Ran through the level finding Maddie eventually, who is a sentient maintenance bot. Yeah, she talks. She has a little girl's voice, and she talks, and you find her, and you put her back with her dad. They're all happy. I think you do another quest for him later in the game to complete a quest line for like one of the other endings or something. I didn't get that far. I ran through this whole area in one night with minimal trouble. Now, at this point, I'm feeling really good about the game. I wrote that. I'm feeling really good because I ran through the whole area. I think there's a gas enemies here. I'm immune. There's acid floor here. I'm immune. Having a great time. Murdering everything. I'm just having a good old time. This is also the area I wrote you where you find out this is the doctor we talked about. I guess you never met him. There's a mouthy doctor who kind of like lays out the plan for the taking over the world. Kind of his whatever bull crap. If you meet him, he's here. He gets away somehow. He does something and like escapes. I forget how he gets away. I don't think you even end up killing him. There's a mini boss here, which not even really worth noting. He's like a because most enemies you fight they're always missing a piece of armor. He's like an enemy who just has all the armor, but he's not it's not presented like a boss. You're locked into an area with him, but you kind of can just take him down. Like he killed me once. But I kind of ran back down there and killed him.
He's like a fully armored, alive human, right? He's not like half dead like some of the other ones are.
I think he's under control by the doctor or something like that. But his only difference really is he's fully armored. I don't think he even uses a fancy weapon. At this point, before going to the next area, is where I decided to buy and try the second DLC. I read about it first, and I should not have even tried. It's called The Good, the Bad, the Augmented. Fun name.
Yeah,
the game
I like the good name.
This is a Western-themed challenge map DLC. I say this because I read what the DLC was entailing and should have not even bothered. So I despise challenge maps as a DLC in any video game. I don't want to do things that just take the regular game and make it harder. Not interested. Hate it. Absolutely hate it.
Well, people love challenge maps.
It's in so many games. Even another game that I hated I played more recently. I'll get to that another day. This place is full of old enemy types, but you're in it's like picking up. I think it's like a virtual thing. You walk into a thing, it's like a virtual reality thing around you, and you get between these repeating these room archetypes. You go like this room type, and then that room type, and then this room type, and you kind of run through it and get to the other side. This is where I ended up fighting Pax a couple more times. He's just littered throughout this DLC, just ready to fight multiple times. The fight's not really any better. I think I do better because I knew more how to play the game.
Did you beat him every time, or
once or twice probably? What my notes run short because I ran a few maps before getting tired of the DLC. 0 out of 10 achievements. I just hated this.
Did it unlock?
And I had sections too that were I was unlocking little knickknacks of bullcrap that I didn't really want, like weapons and other silly things that I just didn't need. And other there was some augments that sounded really not augments, some implants that like you could see what you're going to unlock on these challenges. I was like, if you do this good, you'll get this. Those sounded good if I would play good enough to get them.
Yeah, but
this whole DLC was a complete botch, in my opinion. There was just like weird, dumb stuff. There was like this section where you had to like stay out of the sunlight because the sun would burn you. I was like, okay, I played Mass Effect. I don't that one planet on Mass Effect. I don't need that. There was I don't know. There's just so many different parts about it. It was just throwing in things that weren't in the game originally that were just irritating, and then repeatedly doing them over because you beat a section of once. It's like do this section. And then you can like do something else and go back and do another section. But it was like repeating what you've done before, but like slightly different enemies. But you had to like do them like level 1, level 2, level 3, but what the levels were repeating.
Oh God,
it sucked.
Yeah,
it sucked so bad. I mean, it was just like I hated every aspect. So my notes for that, experience for that, are very, very, very short. Which that leads us to pretty much the end of my experience. What I would do is after coming out, so I come out of research and development feeling great, like the best of the best out. Like I just like really like think of like I beat Carbon Cat, and then I go back into so I beat the first part, beat the first DLC, go into the third boss, beat her in first try.
Well,
go back into the what? Yeah, so I do.
First you did the tower.
Circulation tower. Do all that, get these cool achievements, get a new rig, run to the DLC, get to it. Basically, it's kind of hard, no problem. beat the third boss, no problem. Go to the next area, go back to the DLC, beat the second DLC, complete the second DLC, no problem. Come back into research and development, run through that in one night. Now these are all different settings, of course, but run through research and development in one night, feeling great. All of that kind of comes to like a screeching halt when I run into the good, the bad, the augmented. It kind of throws a wrench in my whole. Like I was like, man, I hate this so much. Let me just go back into the main game, and I'll take the augments, all the augments I've got, all this health and all this stuff I've got, and I'll just roll through the rest of the game. Hopefully, I should have little to no trouble. I mean, the game's still hard, but I think I'll be able to carry myself the rest of the way to finish this game.
Yeah.
So the next place you're going into is the executive forum. I said this is short-lived because you fight a boss almost immediately. It's the fourth boss of the game of the main game called Black Cerberus. It's a humanoid guy. He gives a big speech at first. There's a cutscene, and he's a humanoid guy with a hammer. Not a problem. You can fight this. It's fine.
Yeah.
Beat him on a little bit. Not bad. That's good. He's got a hammer. He's kind of strong. I hit him a couple times. He decides to run off screen and go hide somewhere where I can't heal him. Type on a computer and summons the first boss, Pax, to come fight me while he hides behind glass and heals his HP.
Does he fully heal, or does he just heal to a percent? I'm
not sure. I don't know because I only tried this fight twice. And I was like, and reading the guide, he summons Pax. No, I think it's as much. I think he summons Pax as many times as it takes you to kill him. He will just keep summoning Pax over and over again until you kill him. I was like,
cheese and crackers.
What are you thinking with this boss? What in the world? Like, he's kind of tough on his own. You don't fight him at the same time. You have to fight him. He runs off. Fight the entire Pax boss fight. Which, like you said, armor doesn't matter. He's just as hard as he was.
Oh, yeah.
In the beginning of the game.
Actually harder because this is a functioning one.
He didn't really have any new attacks, though, but he's still just as annoying. I think I've killed... I managed... How many times? I think I fought this whole boss twice, maybe. Where I think I killed... twice. And that's the second time I got to like a second Pax, and I was like, this is
stupid.
Bonkers.
Yeah. Bonkers. This is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, and I wrote, by this time, I was beyond exhausted with the game, decided it wasn't worth the effort it would take to beat this boss.
But it's really close. The executive form is really close to the end of the game,
I think so. I think there's one more boss after Black Cerberus.
And I remember, I think there's something after Black Cerberus, he gives you a key and lets you upgrade your rig for a final time. Or something like that. I remember because I was just looking into it.
But I beat that, and that's what I had. While you were waiting for an excuse to quit playing, so I gave you that you're about to just get railroaded by an insane boss that just ain't worth doing. And that would be the end of our experience with the Surge. I wrote 35 of the 67 achievements. I played a total of 35 hours.
I got 26 of the 67 achievements, and I played for 29 and a half. I was ready to quit.
Yeah. So I think we'll wrap things up. I mean, we've said everything we can say about this game. We have our silly little ratings, and then we will
announce
the game for next episode, and then we'll say bye.
Yeah.
You want to go first with your silly little rating? And kind of maybe a little bit of why.
A little bit of why. So probably one of the cooler things, we talked about it real early on, is the targeting the different body parts. Mm-hmm. Targeting these different body parts. And when you finally actually activate the quote-unquote execution, it does this really cool bullet time where it slows down, and he does like a cool little thing where he would rip off the head or stab him in the chest and do a cool like Power Ranger move where he would like slice their leg or slice their arm off. It had a really cool sound that I really liked doing all the time. And so for me, even though I didn't beat the game, I appreciate enough about the game. And so I give it 6 bullet time dismemberments out of 10.
Yeah, fair enough. Ratings don't mean anything.
Yeah, ratings don't mean anything. They're
just for fun.
Just for funs.
I don't know what to say about the game. I think I shared a lot of my thoughts and feelings about it. The game could have been better in many ways. Lots of balancing issues. The game is way harder than it needs to be.
Stupid battery bar. I hated it so much. Yeah.
So I didn't know what number Blake picked for this. We don't tell each other our numbers. It's not that it matters. But I also I will give it 6 sliding weapon swipes out of 10 because not beating the game doesn't really matter for rating, I think, but I think just general gameplay and enjoyment.
We put enough. It's not like we played it for an hour. It's like, this game's awful. 1 star. Like, I gave it a fair shake. I honestly did, and then I got tired of playing it.
Yeah, that's it, huh? Mm-hmm. So this is sort of how the podcast might be from now on, maybe. Well, not like this. No, I have levels and stuff written down for this. I don't have that for every game. So when Brian sees how long episode is and he has a heart attack about how long it is, don't worry, Brian, it won't always be like this. We have a lot more notes on this game and a lot of different stuff to talk about. But kind of how we kind of want the episodes to go. I think we did a lot of cool stuff about that game. We did pre-decide what game we're going to do next. So if you kind of chance you want to try to play it, maybe you already own it. The game had already left Game Pass at the time of this, of when we were beating it when it was leaving Game Pass. But our next game for episode 102 is going to be a cute little game called Tinykin. Mm-hmm. We want to do something not as dark and bloody and gruesome. But, back to back, we picked something a little cuter. Tinykin is kind of like...
It's a Pikmin-like.
Pikmin-like, if that's a genre these days. Pikmin-like.
We've already done one. Was it Wild at Heart?
Wild at Heart.
Yeah, Wild at Heart. Like.
Yeah. So maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. I'll say we enjoyed it a little bit. I don't want to say too much about it right now, but Tinykin, you can find it. I don't know how much it costs. It was on Game Pass, but give it a look. And if you play it or have anything you want to talk about that game, got a couple of weeks to write to us, and we'll share. Like we didn't have anything for this, of course. Nobody ever writes to the podcast because they're scared of how mean we are, I guess. But write to us, your little experiences or something like that. If you play with Tinykin or what you think about it, or if you have a silly little rating you want for us to share on the podcast, we will shout you out for that. With that, I want to thank Jared Jones and the guys of Emerge for letting us use the song "Letting Go" for our podcast. They are doing a couple of shows around. Right now's a good time to look them up. Have a couple of shows. I don't know how soon it is, but they're opening for Saliva pretty soon in a show in their hometown, which is pretty cool. That'll be some good face for them.
Coverage.
Good coverage for them. So look them up. If you can get to one of their shows, do it. I don't know if we're going to make that one or not. We got new jobs and stuff like that we're working through. So yeah, give Emerge a good shout out. Listen to their music and stuff like that. I want to thank Devious.Pixel, a.k.a. Miladen Markovic, for the art for the podcast, of course. We got brand new episode 100 art that we really, really like. I hope everybody likes that, too. It's really cool. We pretty much told him I wanted to be holding the Buster Sword, and Blake, I don't know what you told him for you, but to do that and then go wild.
And put us on, like I said, put us on the top of I gave him a couple enemy types. I was like, we want to be on a pile of vanquished enemies, like past episodes, and he did a really good job.
Yeah, very fun. And last but not least, certainly want to thank Brian for editing the podcast for us, even though he might quit after this one.
I mean, he does a mediocre job.
Yeah, tell him that now. No, we're kidding.
I'm negging you.
Yeah. They won't all be this long, I don't think, Brian. Tinykin will be shorter than.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I got. I want to thank everybody for listening. Stick around. Come to our twitch.tv/Two Smoking Controllers. Come hang out and watch us play with Brian on there too. We're playing Wo Long, fighting soldiers and monsters and all kinds of crazy things on there.
Demon baboons and a 5-winged turkey.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
5-winged demon turkey.
Yeah. So come see us there. That's all I got. We'll catch you next time.
And I want to wish everybody a good evening and good night.